Now, I promised you all that when we start at this time, that we would start on time and that we are gonna come on time.
I'd like to show you something.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want, and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this,
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Woo! How are you all doing tonight for the 93rd episode of the toxicity that is Toxic Tuesday? Look at all you fine human beings already here right away and ready to party. What's up, John Capola, Josh Pulse, Mihan? Welcome, Mihan. You're new here to Toxic Tuesday. Nice to meet you, and hopefully you enjoy the show. Aaron Ratliff, what's up? Darth Viewer, what's going on? Mr. BDB001, Casparius, Keely Chow, D. Bud Martin, Yaknamano, Oakley, Vandal, the lovely Sherry. How are you? Six Nations, 31 Kings. What's going on, guys? I love Baby 74. Yes. Oh, it's going to be a giant roundhouse kick, this one. It's going to be huge. Trust me. So, yes, tonight is episode 93. 93. And I swear this was not meant to be a coincidence when I set up the first of what is to be several Chuck Norris months. I did not set out to do a canon films 3 straight movies. It just was like, it was just what came to mind. I was just like, okay, you know what? Missing in Action and this movie, The Hitman, and then next week's movie, which we'll announce at the end of the show. And then the Bruce Lee movie. Actually, no, you guys already know next week's movie. It's Invasion USA. And after that, The Way of the Dragon with him and Bruce Lee. But I'm just like, I did not set up that. So it's really odd how that happened. It feels like I should be like, I almost feel like I'm almost like I'm ripping off my friend that 70s rock fan, which I didn't intend to do, by the way. I didn't intend to do. Like I said, it's just the first day. Don't wait. We're gonna do Code of Silence eventually down on for the Chuck Norris month part 2. And we'll make it all non-canon just to even things out. But this is a wild movie. This is an absurd movie. And it's got Chuck Norris with a mullet. A damn mullet. And he has a mustache and a beard. Come on. You have to go with this. You have to go with him. What's up, David Glenn? I see you here, Southern Viking. We'll see. But we got some dudes to bring in the back, and I want to slide them all in very effortlessly. But first, I want to bring in our red shirt. How are you, Justin of the red shirt?
I'm great. And I just want to point out that Chuck Norris can slam revolving doors.
RJ Godzilla, anyone said it all. Wow, this movie. We're going to have a funny conversation on this one.
Oh, yeah.
But glad to have you here, sir. Hopefully, it sounds like you're doing well. And yeah, This definitely is going to be a conversation. That's for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's bring it our guys. Our newest addition to the ball club, Bruce Lombardo of the Dix Division. How are you, sir?
I had a great night and had a great day today. It was a little hot out, I'm not going to lie, but I'm ready for this movie. This was a interesting film. I was not expecting things to proceed the way they did, and I got to give props. I like Aaron Norris quite a bit. He's a good director.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can tell they had problems with the budget, and then I went and rewound some things, and I looked at things again, and then I went and did some reading. And apparently, when this movie was being filmed, when they wanted to get their dailies, when they wanted to go and see their production on it, this little studio, this mom and pop, looked at him and said, "From Canon Film Group, right? Uh-huh. You need to pay up before I show any of these reels to you."
Oh, that sounds about right. I believe every bit of that. Oh man, that's a great way to lead things off, Bruce. Great to have you here, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
How are you, that 70s rock fan?
I'm fine, my friend, and you have no need to worry about stealing any canon thunder from me, because there's always, the more canon movies, the better.
That is true. We can always talk about them for years on end.
Absolutely, and this is an interesting movie, given that, as Bruce mentioned, the cash problems were flowing or not flowing. They were strapped. Partly, I guess, why they filmed it in Canada, and it's a lot of stuff. Like the whole, it's very noir feel to it. Of course,
It does, especially some of the music at parts.
Yeah, they couldn't afford lighting, obviously, so there's a very noir feeling. It's a lot of it's filmed in Vancouver, Gastown. The whole sequence with the lighting, the area that you walk through with the lighting, the beautiful area of Vancouver. Well, it used to be. Gastown, it's all very recognizable if you ever go there. So I guess there was some cost advantages, but as a result, it comes out as a very Canadian movie, which is weird. Lots of Canadian actors, Canadian accents, Canadian locations. So Chuck is,
even though it's in
he's
Seattle,
the American way.
It's Seattle.
We'll
have a discussion on that too. That's a whole other discussion on the Seattle.
Just have to say that Chuck is the only man that could make a mullet bearable. Like he's Chuck Norris is so good that mullets work when he wears them.
Well, glad to have you here, sir. And guys, Mr. Dustin of Keto Simple, it's his birthday today. So when he gets here, speaking of which, I spoke of the devil and he appears. Happy birthday, Dustin.
Thanks, brother. Thanks.
And the fact that you came on here, you did not have to.
Well, my birthday was Sunday night.
I was like, he's probably gonna take the night off. I don't blame him, but you're still here, so hell yeah. So yeah, guys, let's see all 30 of you give this man a Merry Birthmas in the chat. A strong, loud, huge Merry Birthmas. How you feeling, man?
Good. Good. Well, I'm a little heartburny, a little bit full. I had a lot of pizza.
Oh, was the pizza good?
We got 2 20-inch pizzas.
I do hope that was in an electric oven, Dustin, because we don't want you ruining the Earth's atmosphere for millennia to come.
I didn't check on what the ovens they cook their pizzas in, but
blame me in the cue balls. Very good, D-Bud. Just as well we like you, D-Bud.
Poke Race 6666, welcome. Says happy birthday, RJ Godzilla 81. This sounds like man. Oh, look at that dude, Bruce. Wow, you stud there. Yick Nomino, happy birthday, good sir. Thank you. Here, we're gonna zoom in on Bruce real quick before we bring in Mark. Dude, look at that dude, man. You were
I just love the haircut of the person next to you, the person on your right. Now that's a haircut.
That is a nice haircut.
For this, I had a mullet.
Josh
I'm not even sure if it's a boy or a girl with that haircut. You know,
Josh
It's kind of-
posts happy birthday. Phantom Outsider, have a huge happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Dustin, once again, glad to have you here. I don't blame, I would have not totally been like, let him have the nap, but I'm glad you're here. And I'm sure you got some thoughts to entertain on this.
100%.
Yeah. And let's bring in last but absolutely not least, the man who makes the show look, sound, and give us those great homoerotic touches all day, every day. Mr.
I try.
Mark B with a C.
He's all about the
Hello.
homoerotic.
Yeah, I'm looking for where were those pictures of Chuck with the shirt off? I'm trying to find those because we got.
There's a few shots in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for on the
slideshow.
While
He was
you're
wet in one part, very wet.
While you're
here
looking
we
for
go, here we go.
homoerotic, this is Bruno Gerussi, who's in this movie, Canadian actor. Look at that medallion hanging down on that chest, that hairy chest. That's the height of manliness.
Yeah,
sure,
Tash. He even had a band named after him. Bruno Gerussi's Medallion was the name of the Canadian band. So he's in this movie. That's the height of masculinity right there.
And right off the
Impressive.
bat, the lovely Sherry kicks off with a great meme. And even though he's not here because he's got a busy life and wasn't able to catch up with Tom and Dustin and back, Nick Weiser
I
is.
do like Dustin
Hitman.
lurking in the background. That's neat.
That's what I do. I'm a lurker.
Thank you, Sherry. This is amazing. I freaking love it. So, anyways, I'm trying to figure out how do you start off talking about this movie?
Well, the movie has excellent dialogue, I think, especially in the opening
I
5 minutes.
love
I
the
mean,
but there's some really strange dialogue because it starts off with him and Delaney. This is when Chuck is at the mustache and short hair phase. This is important to remember: short hair and mustache. And he's trying to prank his boy, or so we thought, Delaney, and he's gonna get him, and all of a sudden the thing happens. But there's some really weird things that Delaney says. He's like, "I'm so goddamn."
Archie's got all
I
the
couldn't
best lines.
Fuck
Yeah.
mud. I'm
He's
just
got the
like,
best.
I'm like, who? What?
But wait
Oh
a
my
minute.
God.
I'll have it for you in a second. I'm getting this show.
This-
Doing some
So he was trying to fuck
special
Les
effects right now.
Claypool. My name is Mutt.
Oh, that I'm just thinking in my head, like, who says that? I'm so horny.
Well, that's how you know he's
Mud.
dirty.
Yeah.
That's the giveaway. They don't, and that's one thing about this movie. They don't waste a lot of time getting to the reveal. It's like straight out the gate. But it does have that lovely noir feel to it. I know they've done their best to
And the
overcome the budget
soundtrack.
limitations.
Oh, dude, the 80s synth. There's some great dark, like atmospheric 80s synth that's actually really good, and I feel like it definitely minus one scene, which we'll get to that scene. I'm sure you know what scene I'm thinking about. The music is perfect for this movie, except that one scene. That one scene. Like I said, we'll get to there because it's so out of place in the movie.
But it opens with quite a neat cover of "On the Road Again." I don't know the artist that did it, but it's the old Canned Heat song. It's a pretty good cover. The opening music. So it does start off quite well, I think, and there's that lovely bluey black noir feeling to it throughout most of the movie.
It's very fitting, because right away you get a backstabbing, and you see Downey go off with his "the simple play that makes a man," and then he shoots Chuck. Chuck looks almost stunned that he got shot. He's just like, "Hold on, I got affected by a bullet."
Now you see, this is where this is where it becomes unbelievable, because who could possibly fool Chuck Norris?
Right?
I know.
Isn't it
come on.
bulletproof?
That's not possible.
It's not feasible. No one's going to believe that.
No. Chuck Norris's calendar goes directly from March 31st to April 2nd because nobody can fool Chuck Norris.
That's right, exactly.
With Chuck, I was just like, how did he get the drop on him? But I thought, what? He's letting him feel like he's winning. He's letting him feel like he's won. He's like, I'm going to give this guy some leeway. I'm going to make him feel like he's won for 3 years.
I'm a bit bored tonight. Let's have some action. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let the guy
He's probably getting really tired of winning all the time, so he has to give himself a challenge. It's like this Dalton guy seems he seems a little tough and imposing. You know what? I know he's trying to backstab me. I'm gonna play shocked, act shocked. You know it's tough for me to act shocked. But we'll roll with it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
And Michael Parks is a good villain, and he's
yes, he is. No, he's actually a great villain, and his very few scenes he's in, which is basically the beginning and practically the end, if not near the end, are very effective.
Yes.
Are very effective, and you're like, whoa. Oh, man.
Oh my.
Oh my. Matt is in good shape there. He's looking good. So yeah, that's my. I gotta remember to change my screen background before tomorrow. Someone's gonna walk in. Like, what's on your desktop? Yeah, that's just my buddy Mad. We're very good friends.
Who oiled that guy up though? Was it Mad that oiled himself up there, or? Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it was me on that one. Yeah, I don't do the oiling.
You don't do. Oh, so who does?
Got people for that.
6 Nation, 31 Kings. Yeah, Hitman was supposed to be a Charlie Bronson film.
Yes, that is true. But
that's not oil on Chuck Norris there. That's the drool of all of his admirers.
It's true.
Oh, man.
Even moisture wants to cling to him. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. He's the only man where his pectorals have pectorals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
That's right.
he's very wet. He's very wet. Seriously, like, but also I love the way the opening credits. Even though it's super. It came out 91 and it's got the A's look. It almost feels like it's trying to have like a Black Rain cyberpunk look in terms of how it looks at the beginning. So I do appreciate the opening credits for that because I thought about Black Rain. And I thought about that futuristic look. And, you know, obviously this needed to be the future so they can make Chuck Norris look, what was at the time the advanced look of basically just being a Terminator with a trench coat. It's a Terminator meets the Undertaker look, basically. That's what I thought of, a Terminator Undertaker. Of like the big
It
coat.
does have, I'm impressed by the look they gave it, given that it's fairly low budget. And I think as maybe we talked about it last week, the cinematographer actually did a lot of porn movies, I believe. So that's why it has possibly got a certain look to it, you know. Soft porn.
Oh, okay.
And certainly the soundtrack with the single saxophone moody saxophone over the music. That's very first of all, that's very late 80s, but also probably very porn.
I was definitely getting the Miami Vice feel for this. I was just waiting for the Ferrari to drive by. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just, it was.
But they couldn't have.
I got that
Is there no 16:9 cut for this movie? I had to watch it in 4:3 too.
Me too. I had to watch it
I couldn't find the 16:9, and I gave up after a while.
It's hard to get this movie.
I just rented it on Amazon because
I did too.
like,
It was
4:3.
That was silly because it's free on YouTube.
I know, right?
You didn't have
Jokes
to pay.
on me. I didn't.
I never think to look on YouTube for movies.
That's a problem.
Should I just like next time I find a free movie we're studying, whenever I get that, I'll just drop it in our Gilded, and that way you guys can have that.
Yeah, no, please. You should definitely just shoot on Gilded. We're gonna need to make a Gilded group.
So I have questions about his partner here, Michael Parks.
Let's hear it.
How did he just make a sudden overnight decision to become a dirty cop? I mean, he doesn't, or did he work up to it over years? You know, I mean, it's almost like he's standing there going, you know what? Changed my mind. I'm going to be a dirty cop after all these years.
There's a line that he delivers towards the end of the film where he says something about he never even noticed that I was dirty.
Well, that's right.
Speaking of Chuck Norris's character. So the implication from that is that he's been doing this for a while, and Norris has been oblivious, or at least he thinks Norris has been oblivious to it. Hold it a second, damn it.
So
that's Chuck Norris calling.
One thing about the beginning is Chuck. somebody mentioned mullet. So this puzzled me a bit because obviously you see Michael Parks going around shooting bad guys.
You got to comment on these lines here too.
Yeah, he's shooting bad guys, and the reason he's shooting them is because they're supposed to be working for him, and they're doing something that night that isn't for him. That's why he shoots them, because he's the villain, and these are his bad guys. Some of them, or should have been. But he is shooting them, which confuses you, of course, when the
that line. Look at Chuck's tense eyes when he's saying that. He's so good. Chuck's just like, you're fucking weird, bro.
I just realized I'm trying to analyze the plot of a 1991 canon Chuck Norris movie. So what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
plot.
Lawrence Arabia, Dr. Schwago.
Shannon was watching this and goes, "What the fuck's even happening?"
Yeah. Chuck's reaction to this is the Chuck Norris look of revulsion. And it's hard to tell from anything else.
But who would say that? I mean, you could think of all the things you could say instead of mud.
Exactly.
Like Gore, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's right.
Well,
I could fuck you. You could have said,
The plot of the movie.
Nomino, Nomino, I would say the plot of the movie sometimes.
Yes. And if I think you guys are talking about the scene, like the scene that doesn't make sense in the movie at all, I think that's the same one. Shandra was like, "What the fuck? This has no place in this movie."
Yeah.
So we'll
get we'll get there.
But so the answer to the question, does this movie have a plot or does it not have a plot, is yes.
Yes.
To both. To both. The answer is yes to both.
Ooh,
I'm sure there was a plot somewhere, but it's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Josh Post put the Hitman, the prequel to Walker. Dude, there was this opening scene does make me think of Walker, Texas Ranger. The opening scene does. Obviously not because of the look, but because of his look, because of the hair and the. I was just like, yeah, the short hair look. Is it funny how he goes away for 3 years and he comes back with a mullet?
I know.
But his partner looks like a fat Papa John.
He does look like
here's, I mean, this is another staple though of 80s and 90s action movies: the nighttime at the dockyard scenes.
the warehouse.
Yes.
The warehouse at the dockyard. Yeah.
The warehouse
Yes.
where the deals get done. You operate under the shadows.
Yeah.
You
Where
get your guys
apparently
together.
anyone can do anything they want because no normal people are around to say, "What the hell are you doing?" Even
Beverly
though
Hills
it's a
Cop
busy
did that so
international
well.
dockyard. Anyway,
Beverly Hills Cop really did the nighttime dock worker logistics facility very well.
it did, yeah.
Yep.
And there we go.
Yeah. Where the fuck is he? No, I just were like, I hadn't watched this in a while, and I'd forgotten about the plot or lack thereof or whatever you
Well,
want to
Parks
call
is
it.
killing these guys because they're working on this night and doing shit that he's not authorized. Is the best what I seem to get from it.
Yeah.
I had
Right.
to rewatch it. 2
Shipment
times
is
just
that
so-
coming in the next day.
Yeah, they're ripping
Yes.
him off. They're
Ripping
ripping
him
him
off,
off. Yeah, that's why he shoots them. Chuck shoots him because he's Chuck.
Yeah, that's actually true because he's basically just trying to take him. He's playing the whole. I'm working with these guys, but I'm not. He's trying to get them all and just implode the entire thing. So he decides that he has to be the undercover agent, basically, even though he's not really undercover.
I guess we would assume that if
Because
Michael
they're
Parks
dead.
had not revealed that his dirtiness, he would have continued on until he retired as a cop. Nobody would have been any the wiser. That would be the plan, I guess.
Yeah, what would have happened if he had never shot her? Would they have been best friends? Maybe they could have gone on a few
Maybe.
showers together.
Maybe they would have got married eventually.
Got married together.
Done
They
chest
could-
bumps in the ocean.
Trained at the same
They could have had
gym.
private pride. They could
Oh,
have
this
jumped
is
through windows together.
this is
He
great.
could went
This
through
is
the window with him. Say, "I'll always jump with you." Like,
this is another one of these trampoline cars that you see in movies.
oh yeah,
Yes.
Always break people's falls. Luckily it was a station wagon.
Well, it
'Cause
looks
if it
like there's
just been
two
a-
people in that scene though, right? Right
Yeah.
here. Oh, if I pause it here, is it? That's
Well,
looks really
Parks is
strange
in the
there.
window. Parks is up in the window, isn't he?
No, down
Yeah.
below. It looks like there's I don't know. I
There's
can't.
not the other guy.
But yeah,
It looks
if
like a
that had,
stunt double and a dummy body or something.
it's
There,
just as
like.
well it wasn't a Pinto or a Pacer. It was a station wagon.
Yes.
Nothing more comfy to land on than a bunch of steel and glass.
Exactly, with some wooden paneling though.
Only Chuck can
Yeah.
land on steel and glass, and the steel and glass would be in pain from Chuck.
That's right.
Norris.
That station
That's
wagon is
right.
hurting.
Yeah, that station wagon will never be the same. Like I said, this was all a ploy. He had to make Delaney feel like he had some leverage because he got bored. After all these years, he's like, okay, I'll let this guy have it. I'll make him feel good.
But to helicopter tours thing, there's not a single fucking hitman in this movie.
Yeah, that did puzzle me a bit because Chuck's playing a an infiltrator, mob boss type guy, but he's not specifically a hitman, is he?
No,
Not really.
he never once gets contracted to kill anyone.
No. He does shoot a lot of people though. He does shoot a lot
Like
of people.
four,
to be fair,
but
to be fair,
There's a lot of kills, but yeah, he doesn't do a job for it.
But there's
He
no
just
hitman in
kills.
this movie,
Yeah.
really. So I
Right.
guess there's one, sort of.
Yeah.
Is there though?
Yeah,
Now,
like the chick
what-
in the car.
I mean, you may find him somewhat different. In what way? Is it his hair changes or?
Well, when he comes back, his hair and his beard change.
So
well,
that's
his
fair.
facial
That's
hair
why
change.
that's why he's different.
That's all. That's
I
it.
watched this movie and I'm thinking, okay, he's different because he went like he was a good cop, then he came back as a bad guy. I was
Well,
confused as shit.
But his boss there sends him undercover because he knows everyone thinks he's dead.
Yeah, but
Right.
that doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
No, it
the transition doesn't say anything about that.
He's not married with
3 years
kids.
later. Yep.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. They just did it. They didn't there's no explanation for it at all. There's no exposition, no flashback, there's nothing.
You
It
don't
just
waste
it
any
happens.
time. There's no time
I was like, is
wasted.
he an evil twin? Like, what's happening?
Right.
No.
I mean, and this is just as you're starting to figure out, okay, his partner was dirty. His illegitimate deal was going down wrong. He shows up to clean it up.
That's
Chuck
the girl
is,
he's fucking.
right.
No.
But you just about the moment you start to figure out what's going on in this movie, it goes forward 2 years with no explanation, and Chuck has a mullet and a beard, and he's supposedly a hitman for a mafia family on the West Coast.
Well, you see, you say mafia. I believe they're meant to be French Canadian mobsters with one Italian. That's why
They're
they shoot
the
them.
most polite mobsters I've ever
Yeah.
seen in a movie.
Well, they do say, "I'm sorry, I'm going to have to shoot you."
Yes.
So he at least is a little
Sorry.
kind before he kills you. It's like, hey,
Merci.
listen, I don't
Pardonnez-moi.
mean to do this. I have to do it. So please forgive me for I have to shoot you.
But I do have
guys."
to say that
he's trying at least to say, hey, can I do this, please? Like, it's almost consensual.
yeah, having connections to Montreal personally, I can testify that there is always has been a French Canadian mob in Montreal. They're quite vicious as well. So that is believable.
This seems counterintuitive, though.
RJ Godzilla has a great comment here that I thought about when Chuck is standing there in the background, like once again, like he
No,
was
his
the
name is Marco.
Undertaker.
So.
He did have that smoking man vibe when he's standing in the background waiting to just pop up, and also he just shoots the shit out of the one
No.
guy.
This is Gastown in Vancouver, which is a funny because if you go to Gastown in Vancouver any night of the week, it's packed full of drunken people wandering about in the streets, even in the winter. So, and yet it's empty, strangely empty tonight.
What's the last call? That's 2 a.m.
Yeah,
It
I was
doesn't
gonna say,
matter.
what time is it?
Oh,
the
all
end of the
night. There's all night clubs and bars there. It's a big party area. You get Gastown.
It's one of those areas.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know it's a movie.
I thought it was Boston at first. I didn't know where it was.
No, it's Vancouver. This is all
No, they
Vancouver.
The whole Seattle, Washington thing. I guess.
Okay, so when this came out in the late 90s, even though it's got an 80s vibe, you're thinking at the time this sounds silly to have it take place in Seattle. But if anything, I think that's actually one of the things that makes more sense now than it did then. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at we'll just say the Summer of Love with all the riots going on, and Seattle had their share. All they needed was a Chuck Norris to go down there and clean house. So I'm like, I can actually see Seattle being like, like I said, this movie was what would happen if Seattle had needed a not Hitman, a fuck around and find out guy. So that's what I got. I'm like, this actually makes sense to me now. Yeah, I'm sure if I saw this back in '91, I'm like, how would this happen all in Seattle? This is laughable. Now I'm just like, yeah, I could see this with the the Summer Love, the Chaz, and all that. This makes way too much sense now for me. I could see him going there and cleaning house in Seattle. All they need is one hitman.
It's interesting that this whole thing goes down really badly, and yet Chuck Norris has been appointed by the Bob boss to make sure nothing goes wrong, and yet it goes sideways almost immediately. There's people shooting with machine guns immediately.
But he leaves. And he leaves. He's like, all right, this is all taken care of. And then it goes completely pear-shaped.
I mean,
and they got to call him back.
The guy says, this guy's going to be in charge. He's the best ever. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And I call him the meat stuffer because, well, that's pretty much what he's known for in his movies, crying and meat stuffing. And that sounds really wrong. Crying and meat stuffing. I think I know one guy who likes a meat stuffing. One guy here.
This whole horse and
poor
cart
horse
thing,
too. I mean, it's horrible.
This carriage thing was a bit random as well. Like,
Oh, I knew the horse was going to die. I always knew. I'm like, damn it, they're going to kill that horse. And this man's gonna cry his face off like he's in a mob movie. They hurt my boy.
I thought Chuck Norris would have sucked the bullet out and saved the horse, but from a distance, of course, from a distance.
Yeah. Well, see, no. Here's why he wouldn't. Because once again, he has to make his villain feel like he actually is credible and is an actual threat. You can't do it if you just get immediate retaliation. If you're trying to be adventurous and have fun, you gotta give them some way. And unfortunately, that's gonna take a few extra hits that you don't want to take, but you kind of have to. Between the horse and between the guys he does deals with and kind of goes back on deals with, and then the boy Tim, he has to make his villain feel like he actually has some advantage. Otherwise, what's the point of this movie if he has no advantage? What is the point when there's nothing for the villain to feel credible about? They say your hero's as good as your villain. Well, Chuck Norris realized he was put in a corner, so he did this movie to make a villain as good as the hero.
You know the reason they couldn't film this in Vancouver in 2023? There would be too many homeless people in the street.
They'd be relocating all kinds of tents.
That's right. They would have tents all the way down the street.
So we don't see movies in downtown LA anymore.
Yeah, there's too many homeless. You can't move them all.
The few movies where they do now, they always they either digitalize it or they shoot in very specific spots and make it look like there's nothing ever going on. Like it's like, yeah, I get there's some parts in California that are probably still super nice and still super great. I won't deny gates. But yeah, that's the whole thing. It's when you look beyond what's on the camera, it's kind of like a crop shot. It's like, okay, yeah, the full straight, but I see what's beyond the camera. Oh, that's shit on the ground.
It's like when I'm filming a cooking video and you don't see all my dirty dishes to the left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
See?
Isn't that weird how that happens?
Yeah, it's called out of frame.
I'm just saying that I was not expecting the horse to buy it. I'm not like everybody else. I didn't think the horse was gonna bite it in this scene. And when the horse did, I was kind of sad. I'm like, that was a beautiful animal.
No,
it's not something you would see as much now, is it? I mean, there would be a whole huge shitstorm about that now, if even though it's fake,
Yeah. We're at the point where we had to literally put in the credits because no one can discern reality from fiction. That no animals. I said animals. No animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
Not even CGI ones.
Yeah, right. It's like
right.
Really? How stupid are we?
Of course, they don't say anything about maybe hundreds of people being slaughtered in the same movie, but it's
Nope.
oh my god, they killed a rat. I don't know, but yeah.
No, you're making a good point because, like, I remember when I was watching Extraction with Chris Hemsworth, which I really enjoy. I still need to watch the sequel.
Oh, the sequel's great.
There's the bad guys. One tosses freaking teenage kids off the balcony.
Yeah,
and don't get wrong, that like it shows you how tense these guys are and how heartless and evil they were.
Wait a minute, Nick.
Like no kids were harmed.
Nick, you see, the problem is, Nick, that your kid isn't a teenager yet, so you don't know how annoying they are to live with.
Oh, you have no idea when they become in their 20s and move back in.
You'd toast them right off the balcony if you could.
Well, my point is they didn't put it in the credits like no teens were harmed in the making of this. I'm like, okay, they mentioned harm about animals, but nothing with teenager. And here's our boy here. He gets to have his most useful scene where he gives I can't remember his name. I just call him long hair dude. He gives him a meat facial with pork. And he's really stuffing it in there. Like he looks like he's enjoying it too. He's really enjoying giving him that meat in the face. I'm like, man, he's really like.
Isn't that a theme through most of the films that we do, though? Some bloke's getting meat in his face.
You got to figure, if there is a God or an Allah or whatever it is, right? He's not going to be upset if someone's physically forcing the meat down your throat. I don't think that's what's in the book, right?
Right. We're going to clip that bit that Dustin just said as a short and put it up just separately out of context.
Chuck Norris was John Wick before John Wick. They killed his friend's horse. Revenge.
Yeah.
I will watch it soon. Don't worry.
I started watching it the other day and I didn't finish it.
No, I loved it.
Well, that guy getting meat in his face, he became a real major porker really quickly. Yeah. And there's the introduction of one of the greatest subplots in all movie history: the relationship between Grogan and Tim.
And who would have figured that Chuck Norris would be a model maker, right? There's an SR-71 there. Yep. Very nice, Chuck. Yep. So, I never thought that he would do model making in his spare time between shooting people and beating people up.
Yep.
I guess you need to relax, right?
Yeah, you got to do something to relax. Let the stress go.
You should have done models of little dead people with big bullet holes in them.
Or blown up tanks or something.
Blown up tanks.
Oh, Mom, look. This one's got a hole in its heart.
This Vietnamese general's got 500 bullet holes in it.
Oh, look. You get stuff meat in this guy's mouth right here.
But that's a nice touch, showing him as a bit of a geek, really,
Yeah, I like it.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'm all for the humanization of Grogan, especially with that big. Look how genuine that smile is too. He's so happy to be. Yeah, he's like, I'm really happy to help you.
That's an actress that's been in a lot of stuff. Candace Churchill. She's in a lot of TV, particularly. She's still working. Because most of the cast in this are not well known.
Watch Extraction. Just do it. It's worth it. Okay. Watch it. I was surprised. I actually held off on it for a long time until recently.
Well, I started watching the second one. I couldn't remember the first one. I watched it, but I just couldn't remember anything about it. It was one of the, it's just, to me, those movies, you watch them and then you just forget them.
Oh, dude, I thought all about that
movie had such good stunt work. They put all the money in the blood and the stunt work. I was so proud of them.
That was a brutal scene. That was just that was actually tough to watch. Yeah, that was gross. Yeah. And I apologize. Some of the subtitles don't sync up correctly. This movie initially tough to find.
Were bad.
The subtitles were like not.
Wait a minute. Go back to the last one, Mark.
Sure. Yep.
What is that?
I got to meet Chuck Norris in this scene. That little known fact.
What is that enormous thing coming out of his groin there?
Oh,
a beluga whale.
hey! That's his beautiful dolphin, as he said.
Those are manatees, I think, aren't they?
Dude, no,
beluga.
He's
beluga whales.
He's sword fighting. Look, he's sword fighting.
Yep, he's sword fighting with the other whale.
Right.
He's got a whale in his trousers.
My first acting credit. the beluga
There you
whale.
go.
in this movie. I didn't have a
I
beard.
forgot this movie had a beluga whale birthing scene.
You know, when that dolphin saw Chuck Norris, think about it. When that dolphin saw Chuck Norris and was prepared to sword fight, he said,
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
That clip will never get old.
No, it won't.
Nope.
Is that a really?
The answer is yes. Once again, the answer is yes.
I've never been, and Chuck would say, I've never been the same since the accident. It's half the size it used to be.
I'm almost ashamed of myself that I now just discovered that there was a sword fight in this entire movie, and I didn't even notice. And it was right in front of me, too.
It was right there. You weren't looking closely.
You were too busy thinking about all that
Pay
mud.
attention.
You were trying to pretend there was a plot.
Right.
What does the mud say?
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if they go to a mud strip club later. Is there a strip club for mud?
No, that was Stripes.
There's a strip club for mud and peeing your pants, because if
Yeah.
you notice too, there's a thing that they like talking about. They like talking about peeing your pants a lot in
pants,
this
yeah.
movie.
But he says,
That's a
they go to
thing,
the strip
too.
club and he says, meet my favorite stripper, Sludge.
My favorite
Lots of
stripper
mud
is
is
Old
going on with his
Meg.
hair there.
I like it when Old Meg isn't making money on the tip rail, because then she starts selling gummies for $15.
Hold on. Go back to that
That's right,
shot.
That's right.
Go back to that shot. He touched his own tip, and we got to see it.
He did. So there's Iranians too, yes.
Hold on.
I actually think they described the Iranians
We need to
as-
hold that shot still of the tip. Come on. That is something. Once again, I'm discovering things now, even through rewatching again, that I never even knew before. What happened, Mark?
Hello, Mark.
Mark had a bird in his fireplace.
All right.
Oh,
what was her name?
Oh,
What's her name?
whoa.
Sludge? Oh,
Well,
not that kind
Mark-
of bird.
Patrice.
All right. So
Sorry
let's
to
talk
hear.
about the beautifulness of this scene. Does anybody like
Yes.
shutters on their windows, or do they prefer blinds?
I don't care. I really,
Okay.
I don't care.
You better answer that. It could be the phone. Don't you
That's what I
dare you
like.
point
That's what I
that
like
bloody
about you,
don't
Grogan.
you
Oh,
point
Mark's
that bloody
back.
thing at me.
All right, now that Mark's back, Mark. No, he's not back.
No.
Okay.
He just came and hit the slide button.
So Dustin, is that what your kitchen looks like?
Ah.
Yeah, no.
No. He's got no dirty the dishes either, just things he hasn't cut up yet. Now, two guns at once. Come on. I mean, one
Man, I
little one.
swear
big one.
I can load my dishwasher. All the dishes are clean. I turn around. There's a whole thing full of dishes.
Yeah. But I do like that Chuck has a little gun and a big gun.
Yes.
Is that a pizza or a pie on the counter? Well, unfortunately, because Mark is he's at my A for the time being. He had
That's
to take
okay.
care of business, and I think it was just a pie. It was just a regular pie.
Let's discount Michael Madsen on the right there.
I would just
There's a lot of Kmart actors in this movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
there are.
Borat's in
There's
the
the
middle.
well, right
Dude.
there's that's the Costco Sacha Baron Cohen.
That's
Yes.
right, it's Borat. Yeah. Now, you see, they did describe these guys at one point because they're Iranians as Arabs. They're not Arabs. Iranians
No.
are not Arabs.
There,
Persians.
and
Very
there's
different.
pork, and there's the guy who takes the pork in the mouth in back of Borat, and
Oh, yeah.
and he's got a black eye. Imagine he got a black eye from meat in the face. That's a real man.
Well, you got to be careful with that kind of thing, Nick. You know, I mean, you
Dude.
poke someone's
At least
eye
it
out.
looks like they only had to tell him once. So I mean,
Facial so huge that he got a black eye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's vicious.
well, he doesn't have two black eyes, so he only got told once.
I like Phantom Outsiders comment. Sorry, Phantom Outsiders made a great comment. There's Chuck going about, I grew up in the street, you know. Phantom Outsider says, everyone grew up in a street. That's where houses and apartments are. It's true. We all grew up on a street. It's just- well played, Phantom. Well played.
Yep. Unless you're one of the four Yorkshiremen, yes.
That's right. I grew up in a cave.
And
was
They
way-
grew up in a lake.
Just like Livent Lake.
Yep, this guy, I knew right away. I'm like, this guy's gonna
Yeah,
die.
it's like that. He starts to walk towards the car. I'm like, it's gonna blow up.
That's right.
Yes.
I know we're all having fun here, but those scenes are pretty effective. I mean, they did what they had to do. And,
Well, they do what they had to do.
yeah, villains are pretty good in it, I think.
No, there's some effective villains, and you
Yeah,
know,
it's funny, but you know,
and we get another villain for our boy Tim here, a very very important villain because
Two
we
of
learned
them.
that so there's actually a few villains. Good.
so this is when we find out this kid is the ultimate villain. He's behind it all.
Oh, dude,
That would have been just the best twist ever.
Oh, so apparently this scene was apparently influenced by a real life scenario in Chuck Norris's life where apparently he had bullying issues. So I
Yeah.
get the influence of this scene. I think this scene actually should, now I'm gonna say this scene did deserve to have its place in the movie. I think what hurts
Yes.
this scene is
There's the line
the
about running
music.
from your fear. Yeah,
the music. Yeah, that's a great line. There's
it's a good
really
line.
great dialogue.
Running
like-
from your fear is more painful than facing it.
But the music is so overly wholesome. It feels more like it should be like a
A
great
Hallmark,
After school special.
Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
Hallmark.
yeah,
Yes.
like a Hallmark movie.
Oxygen.
A&E. Where
Lifetime.
those channels? Because yeah, Lifetime. Thank you, Lifetime. It feels so.
I was
And
going to
they're
say,
so happy, like, they're
Oxygen.
so overly happy. Like, think about when you're in like those martial arts movies and they're in training. Everything's just like, come on, again. Ah!
see,
It's that
Nick-
they're all doing all slow, happy.
if I'd written
They
Oh,
might
like
as well
the new
scene-
slow
Karate
dance.
Kid, like the
They might as well
2010
slow
Karate Kid.
dance.
Check it on, check it off.
This is all
They just slow
Miyagi
dance
bullshit.
together.
It is Miyake. I would have done this different. I would have said, I'm going to show you what I did to those kids that bullied me. And he goes outside and shoots 20 people. There, kid, that's how you deal with bullies.
He wouldn't shoot 20 people. He'd roundhouse kick 20 people in the
He
face.
roundhouse kicks them, then shoots them. That's how you deal with bullies. None of this fisty
But like I said, the
stuff.
flow of this stuff, if instead of having them be so overly smiley, have them be more serious, and then change the music with the music that was going on earlier in this movie, I would say, okay, perfect scene. But like I said, the idea is great, the dialogue is great, the training is great because once again, the overcoming your fear, having Tim get past
Yes, it's
his
pretty
fears, especially since he's got a hard life. His mom's a single mom working 3 jobs. Tim needs to have his moment of development. Everything about the scene makes sense as far as the story goes. Because I've actually argued with friends like, oh, they should take the scene. I'm like, no, they should not take it out. It just should
It just
have
didn't
had
fit the rest
different.
of the movie.
Yeah,
Well,
but
the
he's trying to
scene did.
humanize. He's humanizing Chuck's character. It's
No,
it's
the
a common
scene
thing.
Does
And now-
fit. It's
and
the
now we're
music that doesn't.
You know what I'm worried about though? I hope someone finished that F-15 Eagle model because I would hate to think it went to waste.
Right?
Well,
I
they
hope
did.
just didn't.
It comes back later.
Yeah, I hope someone actually finished it. Oh, 2 pickup men. Is that what she calls them?
Oh, dude.
That's what she calls
Chuck
her chest.
Norris
2 pickup men.
Has the most toxic line towards this lady.
Yeah.
And I laugh my ass off every time because she's like, "Oh, this relationship puts me in a bad place," and he's like, "Well, then stop bringing your ass over here." I'm just like, bro, that is the ultimate lie. I was like, "Damn!" I laugh my ass off every time I hear that line.
And Chandra was like, "Is that supposed to be sexy?" And I'm like, "Eroticism."
No, that is.
Can't possibly be sexy. It's a woman. It's got to be a man in these movies to be sexy.
Is Matt at least in the chat somewhere?
Where
No,
is he
he's
when you
getting
need
a
him?
handy from Randy. Oh,
Indeed. All good, clean fun.
and now he's on a jet to literally Vancouver as far as the story is concerned.
Alberta Watson, yeah, great Canadian actress though. Alberta Watson that plays the part there of Christine.
I
She
don't
just
know.
passed like a couple years ago.
Yeah, she passed away in 2015. Yeah, good. They're all good Canadian actors. She was in Spanking the Monkey,
I might have to watch this.
Yeah, I wonder why.
She's been in some good stuff.
Oh man,
Hackers. She was in Hackers. That was pretty good.
Yep.
Oh man. So, how would you rate Chuck's mullet? In this day and age, how well has Chuck's mullet aged, for better and or worse?
In this movie,
70.
he's damn near Australian. How good his mullet is.
That's true. He is, isn't he? Oh, there's Patrick Stewart. Oh, sorry.
Where you at, Red Shirt, with it?
I think if he bleached his hair a little bit, he'd look like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, he would, wouldn't he? Oh God, yes, you're right.
Maybe let himself go.
That is so right. Yeah,
Dude, that is. Oh man, now I can't unsee.
that's his snub-nosed shotgun there. That's the snub-nosed shotgun.
So obviously, I'm not knowledgeable at this time in my life yet on guns. I'll get there one day, I promise, guys. It looks like a pretty damn cool gun. I don't know if it works good. Is it? I'm sure it is. But I'm just saying it looks cool.
That's technically what a sawed-off shotgun is.
Yes, it is. It's pretty sweet.
You can file NFA paperwork and own one, but you know,
this is
Truck
a better
doesn't need
mullet.
paperwork.
His mullet's a better mullet than anything Van Damme ever had.
Ah, speaking of the devil,
I do
Rock
think
the
that his
more.
mullet does lack a bit at the front, though, in the top, because it's still a bit flat. I mean, he's
You're
good
talking
in the
about
back.
his
it is a little supercuts in the front, right?
He's not
very
good up
business
top.
in front.
No, he's not good up top.
He has a very business in front mullet that I'm very,
That-
very envious of.
Business in front mullet. That's a great
Well, I mean,
one.
okay, so like the top of his mullet's almost like a little hair club for men. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you can shower with it. You know what I mean?
You can
Like,
tell it's Canada. There's bloody geese everywhere.
So the bird has been set free. Speaking of geese, so
Oh, hey,
no,
Mark.
no birds
All right.
were harmed.
Oh,
I'm back.
Was it a
Pause
geese?
right at the scene here. I love this line here, but it will have.
Yeah,
to
that's why I
be
paused
his
it.
dick.
We love you, Mark.
Oh, Mark, everything okay?
Yeah, the bird is. I got to get a new cover on our chimney because the birds sometimes, get down the chimney, you feel bad, and then they can't find their way out. So you kind of just open the door and try to ease their way out. So yeah, finally they went. Finally, the little guy went out. So yep, all good. I'll show a picture in a second.
Oh
He's
no,
safe.
please. But I like how he's like, when he's like, "Why'd you agree to see me?" And then also, Andre goes off, and then all of a sudden he straight up levels and they say, "Maybe your handwriting, but it will have to be his dick."
Like, I don't know if it's gay unless you like make eye contact while there's the blowjob. Blowjob's not that gay.
Bullshit. Anyway.
Yeah, but I got news for you.
Yeah.
Emptying your baby batter bucket into another man's
I mean,
mouth
it's
is a
better
little
than
bit.
mud. Let's get real.
All right,
That's
great
like
debate
your
is
opinion, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Hold on, do we miss where he shot the shit out of the long hair dude? Oh no, we're at it here.
This
Where
this
the
soundtrack
music-
right here
It's
is
coming up, yeah.
fantastic.
The music here is freaking excellent because like even though it's like more of the exotic type, and usually I don't roll with the exotic type, but it fits the context of the scene. I like how he goes up to her table, he makes fun of their food to their
Yes.
faces, like you guys
Wait a
actually
minute.
eat this
You
shit.
eat the shit.
Yep.
Fucking wonderful.
What
As
what
a
nobody knew at the time though, there's that those guys at that table were actually Kiss out of makeup.
I have been to a restaurant similar to that, like in Disney. We went to hotel or the restaurant Marrakesh.
Oh yeah, it's that Persian Middle Eastern thing, yeah.
Ooh, this
Eastern
is the-
Mediterranean thing.
Dave, you're onto something here. Best mullet pull.
Oh,
Norris,
Swayze's
Van
the best.
Damme,
Oh,
Swayze.
Swayze.
Swayze hands down.
Swayze,
By a
easy.
long way.
Yeah,
I'm
Swayze
actually
wins.
I'm gonna have to go with the crowd. I'm usually not one to, but this is the rare moment. I'm going with the crowd. Yeah, Swayze. That mullet is straight up legendary. And I love how Borat here. He tells him not once, but twice that he's a dead man. And he
Yeah.
says, "You already said that."
That's right. You already said that. Yeah. I'd like to see more of that dancer, though. We didn't see enough of the dancer.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Who says you already said that?
That's right. So low budget. Six Nations says they had Persian Arabs. They couldn't afford real Arabs. They had Persian ones.
Well, seriously, and this is an arson that would have definitely been off the pitchforks. The fact that you see him spit out the food, said, "You guys eat this shit,"
I'm telling you,
put
that's
his
Kiss.
hands all over it. OSHA was sued about this movie. This goes against our sanitation stuff. What are you guys doing? This is against our protocol, guys. You're
We
a
already
dead
killed the horse, right?
man. Yeah, right. You're a dead man. I'm not afraid to die. Allah protects. No, he doesn't.
No, this is
Sorry.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
This is Chuck
he
Norris.
is. Sorry, Allah, but with Chuck Norris, you ain't no. You know,
Well,
you'll
then.
get to see
But-
another day.
But after all the writing we've made fun of, let's give credit where credit's due. This is a setup that will be paid off at the end of the
Oh,
film.
yeah.
Are you afraid to die?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody was awake when they were writing this part of the script.
You see, you made the mistake because Allah isn't going to protect you right now. He may protect you after Chuck's blown you away.
Right.
But he's not going to intervene while Chuck's working. He's not going to intervene in such things. Not that I know about it.
Oh darn! I forgot to add my clip. I had because where he shoots the shit out of the long-haired meat stuffer, and he's like, "Drop dead." After he drops dead on the ground.
I mean, that's right. With some of the one-liners in this are trying so hard to be Schwarzenegger one-liners.
They are, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Mr.
laughed.
Lacombe. It is a French-Canadian mobster. Lacombe. Yeah.
I laughed so damn hard.
You already
when I
said
saw
that. It's such a good.
Yeah.
You already said that. That was probably a
Oh.
mistake in the script, and they just kept it in. So and Chuck ad-libbed.
Just kept
Well-
going. Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's see. At least he gets some punching action in here. He doesn't punch enough in these movies.
He's
He's
not a
trying to do-
single roundhouse kick in this entire movie.
Yeah, he kicks someone in the head once in the opening warehouse scene, but it's not even a roundhouse kick. It's just a kick. But I think it's because he himself wanted to get away from the martial arts and be seen
He
more as an
wanted to
all-round
show-
action man. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
diversity to his
action,
His
skill.
own detriment,
Yes.
really.
Yeah. He was more than just a roundhouse kick. There's more to what was on the outside. He could train a kid to wholesome music and tell someone to drop dead.
Yeah, I do like the this scene.
Oh,
This
I
is,
do too.
This is a good scene. Yeah, it's well staged. We've jumped it, unfortunately, where the guy. Yeah, the guy getting shot. That's always a classic. The guy getting shot out of the window, the stained glass window in the restaurant. It's pretty good. It's pretty neat.
I remember when I first saw this, I'm like, why are we showing two random girls out of nowhere?
Dressed
Like,
like,
The
Shining,
The Shining.
Well, yeah.
It's just The
Well,
Shining.
Either-
they have to
actually-
show this off.
I thought they were about to turn into blueberries. That looked like they were straight out of Willy Wonka.
They had to show the girls off. This is Aaron's daughters.
Yes.
That's
No,
right.
I later
what
I
it was,
realized, but at the time the first time I watched this, I was like, who cares? But then all of a sudden you see everything happen.
That's the
And
world's
also-
most miserable play park.
I'd have fun with that part.
Come on,
It's got the monkey bars.
that's 2 foot
So-
slide onto some rocks.
So just to be clear, Chuck has just delivered a warning from this guy, supposedly, to the Iranians.
The nicest mobster ever.
Right, which is why the Iranians are showing up.
Well, once again, he's trying to tear apart the whole system from within.
Right. He's going to
So-
he's trying to get them to come together because that's what his boss wants him to do. Get them together, we'll get them both. And he figures, well, if I can get the Iranians to make them form an alliance, so he sets up the Iranians, or he sets up the French, the Vancouver mob, by telling the Iranians that he's delivering a message from the Vancouver mob boss. But yeah, this is and this is the thing. All he does is go the whole time.
I laughed so hard when that because it's like, wow, that's a really cringy scream. Ah!
Yes,
it's like a PD wheat straw fight scene. By the way, nobody got that. Okay,
I sadly did not. But I look at this and this sounds really wrong out of context. Seagal never had a mullet. He always had a slick back.
Wait a minute, back up.
Definitely long on top and slicked. Ooh, oh boy.
Back up one, Mark.
Sure. Yep. Which this one?
With him when he starts running. There, right there.
Yeah,
Bigfoot sighting.
Oh, sure it is. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. That's the Bigfoot pose. Yeah, good.
It's
catch.
it's always in a forest just like that as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's blurry.
And it's blurry.
All the cell phones these days. When are we getting a picture of an alien, ET, or Bigfoot or something?
Well,
you know,
it looks like it's filmed in a Nokia
Ness
P3
Monster.
from 1982. Yeah.
we'll have a photo of Loch Ness Monster, an alien, Bigfoot, Jackie Onassis, all four of them together in a clearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the cell phones everywhere. And please, when you do photograph Bigfoot, horizontal video, please. I think I'm gonna go. It's like if I ever see a horizontal video on the news someday, it'd be so nice. I mean, whenever you're watching these clips of people, they're like panning back and forth. It's like if you just flipped your goddamn phone sideways, you could see the whole effing scene.
Landscape. Yes.
Landscape. Your eyes are landscape. Please
Do it 16:9
anyway,
as opposed to 9:16.
Yeah. Oh God.
But yeah, the blurriest photos ever when you get aliens or Bigfoot or anything. Yeah, like it's 2023. Yeah.
Damn it, Richard. Now I can't unsee Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? You've ruined it forever now.
I look at that and I'm just like, damn it, Richard. And look at that mark on Borat's forehead. That's awesome.
He's a Klingon. That's what he is.
Yep, he's now.
Imagine running around having that mark on your head like that. You can wear a hat. Borat couldn't have the decency to be like, wow, I have a really badly balding headline, and I got this really bad mark on my head from getting my ass kicked by Chuck Norris. And this guy is the luckiest guy, this Borat guy, because how many times does he encounter Chuck Norris, and he has chances to live? He has chances to live.
Yeah. He does.
He goes easy on Borat. It's like, hey, I could be nice. I'm trying to give these people to make them once again feel like they have leverage. And this is the guy I'm going to go the easiest on because he just stands no chance of shit in life. And he's like, all right, fuck it. Fine. You're just going to die. I tried with you. Oh, and this is it where Timmy.
Look at that mullet there.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
What a awkward looking pose right there with the weirdest.
Edward Furlong was busy for that day. He couldn't do the part.
This is not Edward Furlong.
It's a discount Edward Furlong.
Just go.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh man. But no, it's nice to see Tim kick this kid's ass. But man, he goes from the most supportive dad to boom like that, and it's like, oh damn, he gives his son a whooping.
By the way, those girls apparently, according to the internet, the two young girls that were in that scene are Aaron Norris's real kids.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're actually, and his wife is a waitress, and it plays a part of a waitress.
Well,
Aaron Norris. So.
I guess that's how you cut some costs for a movie.
And I bet he didn't pay them either, the tight bastard.
Oh,
Yeah, how much did they get paid? Yeah.
Yep.
No, he definitely didn't.
He said, if you complain, I'll make you do another movie.
Get in the house. I'm going to show you how to cook some meth, you little white trash.
If you complain, I'll make you do 27 more takes.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll make you brush Chuck's mullet.
Yeah, she's Rebecca Norris as waitress number, just as waitress number 1 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
That's it. He asked the wrong question. What the hell do you want?
You're forgetting a couple words there, but we'll forgive you.
Yeah, but
Being
yeah,
the platform it is.
and then Chuck says, basically, without saying a word, he said, "This is what I want."
Yes, this was the same year as T2. When this
Yes.
came out, this was
91.
early,
91.
no, late 91, late October 1991.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it obviously it was at the time around 550 theaters, so I guess you could call it its widest release, and it was a bit of a slow burn for this one, but it wound up with a gosh darnly huge $4 million world dollars. It didn't have a big international release, so it
The
was
Little
a
Mermaid did do better.
Yeah, but
T2 probably did a little, like what, 10% better?
8%.
8%. I knew I was trying to be, generous.
When you're comparing it to Little Mermaid, is that adjusted for inflation? As I don't know, that $4 million from 91 is probably worth a bit more than $4 million today.
What, 20 million now? 20 million now?
I'd say
Beauty and the Beast actually was out that year, and and Point Break was out, and Hook. Wow.
Yeah, it was a good year.
Robin Hood with Kevin Costner with his brilliant accent. Addams Family and JFK.
Yeah.
So Darius Munchausen for $3 with a super sticker, and he gives the horns. That's what's up, man. Thank you for the $3 super sticker. Hopefully you're having a good night, and hopefully you're enjoying tonight's Chuck Norris episode, part 2 of the Chuck Norris month. I mean, come on, look at that face. Look at it's where he goes in the house and realizes that Tim Kid's stuck to the chair. And once again, another reference about peeing pants right here, because this is where he sees the boy. The big reveal here. Wait for it, guys. It's like, hey, remember me? You forgot about me from way earlier in the movie. You may have forgotten me by now, but I'm still here. It's Delaney. Nope. Oh, darn. I thought your cutscene had it set to that. Nope. Darn. What a weird conversation these guys are having.
Well, he knows that he knows the lady's been killed because he called to hit on her, and he knows that Chuck was waiting for her.
Yes.
And Chuck is trying to figure out, and Chuck figures out pretty quickly from just how awkward this conversation is that, she's not coming. Because he says, maybe I should wait for her. She says, no, you don't wait for him. Don't ever let him think that they run you. Come on, she'll learn.
And he's just like, and he said, she'll be fine. Yeah, she can wait. I already told her, stop bringing your ass over here. It'll be fine. Oh, Chuck. Chuck was definitely the toxic man in this movie. And my boy, Juggalo Deathcock, who's at Cynic right now at Reggie's. What's up, Juggalo? So just pop in solo. Cynic is about to take the stage. Dude, he's one of my very best friends in the world. And, dude, enjoy Cynic for me, man. I haven't seen them since I saw him 13 years ago with Between the Buried and Me and Devin Townsend. That was sadly the only time I ever saw them. That was fantastic. I was when they were playing off Trace Daenerys. So, here we go. Here's our boy Delaney. I was delayed by 2 minutes. It's just
You came too soon. You came too soon.
We don't need no Siskel and Ebert for this. They're not worthy of the greatness. They don't deserve to review this movie.
Well, Leonard Maltin, another famous guy, reviewed it and did call it fairly awful. So that's high praise from him, I would say.
Leonard Maltin? That's pretty good.
And he said fairly awful, not really awful. So that's
right.
You didn't say absolute dumpster fire. I mean, God, it would have sucked if it was that.
But that's why we love movies like this. I love them because of that.
But he talked about blowing Chuck Norris. He was so mad that he lived that he all he wanted to do is blow him. And that was his revenge the entire time. He wanted to blow him. Yep. So he felt compassion for him because he wanted to blow him. That was the whole gist of this movie. He's mad. All he wanted his entire life was to blow him, and he didn't want it, so he tried to off him for living. That's Delaney's truth. Hashtag Delaney 2. Oh, he took it personally. He fucking took it personally.
That laser pointer would never bother Chuck, because he would just change the frequency of light, visible light, and it would disappear.
He could roundhouse kick a laser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He would make laser light decohere. There's a physics joke.
What's up, Gaster? All right, let's see what this man sent me. I felt inspired.
He could break water. I mean, come on.
Oh,
he's probably broken wind a few times in the scene.
Damn you, you crazy movie. The Hitman.
There's nothing personal in it. He's only been his partner for an unknown number of years. There's nothing personal in it. In fact, I shot you out of a window.
Yeah. Nothing personal.
Nothing personal, yeah.
I only try to kill you. That's nothing big. Try to kill the kid in front of you too. It's no big deal. I like the use of the trench coats. These guys all wear trench coats.
I do think that look is pretty good. Yeah, I do like that look. It's very effective in this movie.
It makes them
all
all look
frowned upon nowadays. I mean, those kids in '99 really fucked it up for everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, fucking bastards. You ruined that look for us. Yeah, I remember because I didn't know better at the time. But I wore a trench coat in high school, and I didn't think about it. I just thought I wanted to look like Neo, and then I had to go down to the office by the second period, and they asked me questions. I was like, "What's going on?" They're like, "What's going on with your trench coat?" I was like, "It's a coat." And they're like,
"It's just a coat. Yeah.
You're not gonna do anything." I'm like, "I'm gonna go to my class." Right. It's because I'd known about the shooting at the time. That was, I think, 4 years after it happened, but I didn't know actually the context behind it. I didn't know until I was like,
pretty sure it wasn't a coat that did it.
No,
yeah,
but that was a big part of the whole
look.
thing.
The look was very associated with it. So they were looking at me as long-haired kid, and now's another thing too, because they affiliated with long hairs who listen to Marilyn Manson, that whole spiel.
That's actually why Boondock Saints didn't get a theatrical release.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie was wrapped and everything ready to go, and then the Columbine happened, and the trench coats they were wearing was suddenly no. Can't have that association in the theater. Nope. Went straight to video.
Do you know what's really messed up? Down the street from us, there's actually two roads. We have a main road. It's called High School Road. And then there's an intersection that goes into a neighborhood, but the neighborhood road is Columbine. So Columbine and High School.
Whoa. Weird.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris, that's the thing. The Force gets used. That's the thing. He is the Force, man. Chuck Norris don't need no damn Force. He's actually the exception to the Force.
No, the Force does not come from midichlorians. The Force comes from Chuck Norris.
Oh.
I like the Davina when Chuck Norris taught light to focus. I've been over that bridge.
Have you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Over
I saw a really funny one.
Over the Fraser River. Yeah.
For those who may have missed it, I can't remember if I mentioned this one. I'm going to mention it again. I'm sorry for repetition, but it says Chuck Norris can kick a fart back into an ass.
Yeah. When Chuck visits Rome, they do as he does. That's a very clever one, Bush. That's very clever. That's the best one of the night, actually. That's the best, Bush. Well done, Bush.
How did Hudson Hawk make more money than this movie? Chuck Norris has got to go kick Bruce Willis's ass. Well, not now, of course.
Not now. That would just be mean.
Yeah, mean, but you know what I'm saying. Hudson Hawk made $17 million. I'm looking to see what where this movie ranked.
Hawk on the third too.
Hudson Hawk only made 17 million. Jesus, that's bad.
Yeah,
I'd
much rather watch this movie than
I kind of liked Hudson Hawk. Yeah. It was all right. It wasn't as bad as they claimed, I don't think.
Danny Aiello. That's all I'm going to say.
However, this is pretty good. Yes. Super sticker, Nick. He's gone.
Oh, Nick is gone?
Yeah. Anyway, well, he seems to be. So
I
thank
shall
you,
show-
Emperor's NM, for the $1.49 super sticker, which is a box of popcorn.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, here's the popcorn here.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. As
you
if
are.
by magic. Can you hit a
Thank
button
you,
on a video
Emperors
clip?
NM. Sorry, I went to go get my book of Chuck Norris jokes. For those who missed it last week in the show, for those who are not here, I wish I went to go get the butter, but once again, and for those who are seeing again, well, you get to see it again. You should be honored you're seeing this cover again. You should actually feel honored. You should feel privileged, dare I say. This has one of the greatest lines here where it says, a must-have peon to the archetypical American male in a Bible of everything Chuck. The truth about Chuck Norris is easily the most important book of all time. I love that
So
one.
why is it not on my bookshelf?
You know what?
There was
You got to work for it, man. You got to realize, am I good enough for this book?
What you don't know, Mark, is it's on your bookshelf and everybody's bookshelf. You just haven't looked.
Kind of like the Chuck Norris, you toot us.
Yes.
First said Nick went to get the butter, and right before this evening started, one of my favorite creators released a new video on Jake McNeese, well, also known as McNasty, the guy that yeah. Well, he was a hellraiser in boot camp, got put in brig a couple times, and they're like, "Are you gonna ever learn?" And he's like, "If you guys would just give me some fucking butter for my biscuit, I'd be all right."
Guys, for Chuck Norris, pimping is easy. Just saying. Chuck Norris makes onions cry. He makes onions cry. Oh. Oh, damn. Chuck Norris isn't God, but he beats him in golf. Chuck Norris, fuck your wife while you're out of town on a business trip. Tough shit. We went over that one. Every cell in Chuck Norris's body has its own beard. Oh, this is a weird one. Chuck Norris farts. It smells like freshly baked cinnamon rolls. I don't know how I feel about that one.
No, I would rather compare it to something that like I think all men really like. Like Chuck Norris's farts smell like bacon.
That's not quite true. Bacon smells like Chuck Norris's farts. It's got to be that way around. It's got to be that way around.
I just saw a recipe the other day that I was going to try to ketify, but it was turning pork belly into cinnamon rolls.
Oh, Chuck Norris allows Jennifer Lawrence to be the first. Damn, that's the one of the night. That is the one of the night.
Chuck
like
Norris
that.
can make a snowman out of rain.
That's cold.
Chuck Norris had sex with your mom and your dad gave him a high five.
I mean, there's obviously dudes out there. If you came home and your lady was banging said dude, you'd be like, cool.
Couple buddies now.
Oh, sweet. I always wanted to meet you. Oh, go ahead and finish. That's cool. I'll wait.
Oh, bro, we're wiener cousins now.
Eskimo brothers.
Oh. The movie Rambo First Blood was inspired by Chuck Norris's experience as a Boy Scout. Chuck Norris ends every relationship with "It's not me, it's you."
God, that's a good one.
Oh, I love this scene. This is once again, this is the Undertaker moment where he pops on and you got the smoke coming up too, and he just like walks up to the trench coat. I'm like, bro, Undertaker ripped you off. It all makes sense now. Now we know what the dead man did. He saw Chuck Norris and wanted to be like him, and then he slept.
That's right. Yes. We also know why why the chicken crossed the road. It was to see Chuck Norris.
Or to get away from Chuck Norris, however you want to
go.
Because I think we did the other one. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. I saw a meme today, or like it was like a meme short, and it was like, "You got a dick like a Tic Tac," and I was like, "That's why your mom's breath is so fresh."
Oh yeah, dude. I saw it.
That was obvious setup, but that was an obvious setup, but it was good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you ever watch the Canadian show Letterkenny, it's packed full of jokes just like that. Every episode.
I watched like an episode and a half. It just didn't click with me right away.
Once it gets going, season 1's a bit patchy, but season 2 onwards brilliant. And it's just full of jokes like that. And the Shoresy spin-off where he's the hockey ref, that's even better because he just insults all high school games he's reffing and he insults the shit out of them. And it's like, how can he get away with this? You know. Yeah, we do wish her mother. I wish her mother would stop pretending she's been I wish her mother would stop pretending she's been stung by an octopus, so I could come over and piss on her. You know, that kind of thing. It's just brutal. Anyway,
who came first, the rooster?
Chuck Norris is like corn. No matter how much shit he is in, it still comes out in one piece.
Oh god.
Holy damn. Oh, that's fucking nasty.
I love this.
Oh man. I just Chuck Norris does not wear a cup, he wears a barrel.
No, Chuck doesn't need a barrel or a cup.
The Black Eyed Peas were simply known as the Peas until they cuffed Chuck Norris. God,
to the base.
There's an image to this too. Oh
my god.
I'm crying. Oh damn. Oh.
Maybe they could sponsor Toxic Tuesday.
Oh god, that would be good.
I swear we need like Toxic Tuesday needs to be sponsored by Liquid Death.
Dude. Oh,
I could put in my coffee checkout code for blackout.
Oh, dude. Checkout code Toxic Tuesday, dude. Oh man, that they know the joke on its own was absolutely fucking hilarious. And seeing the image of them all passed out on the stage, knocked out, and Chuck Norris really and there's fucking Borat. See what I mean? This asshole just keeps living. Oh, here it is. Here's the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Where's the gong when we need it? Gong. And he comes up to smoke too. Oh. Damn, I'm gonna fucking die. This movie sucks.
You know, I bet every day that when they were thinking about the stuff they'd filmed every day, they would have said the rushes of this would be great if only we could afford to watch them.
Yes, same, right?
That looks like Indianapolis today.
Yeah,
we're getting Canadian fire smoke now.
Yeah. This is what my summers are usually like, or where in BC anyway with the smoke. You see, that cigarette's putting out an awful lot of smoke.
Yep.
If Chuck was smoking it, that I would see.
Dude, I like when he blasts Borat's leg. You saw his like fucking pop. Like it was like watching like a Italian like tray of like food just splatter everywhere. I'm just like, damn, dude, he fucking busted his shit. Oh yes, he will be a huge sponsor of Toxic Tuesday. Seriously. But seriously, he blasted the shit out of his leg. I was like, damn. And he still tries to come back for more.
He's still going, yeah.
Fuck you, Borat. Your sequel sucked anyway. Like, seriously, it sucked.
Nick, I got you a link in the private chat for when we're done with this.
Ooh. Blackout coffee. How to become a blackout coffee. Ooh. You know what? I'll have to try. No, do they let me taste test?
They do not. I'm sorry.
See, as much as I would like a sponsor, I gotta actually, I gotta want it.
All right. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I reached out to I won't name it, but I reached out to a one of the electrolyte companies that just came out with a sugar-free electrolyte, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a sample to try?" And they're like, "No, here's a 20% discount code, though." And I'm like, "Well, that's not." Their shit's like $26 for 14 packets.
Oh,
it's expensive, but I mean, it'll be cheaper to get a big packet from Costco, but still.
Oh, I believe this. I feel bad for those ghosts.
I really feel Chuck looks very unbalanced with those two different weapons. He should have had two shotguns.
Dude.
Really, he doesn't look balanced. You know, it just doesn't look right as a look. You know,
I don't think there's anything wrong with the look. He's got just the.
He's got the mullet to balance it out.
That's true.
Right. It ties the entire thing together.
That's true.
Where are you hiding, Cliffy? It's like, wow, this fucking guy. Oh man,
this fucking guy.
And still they're in. Wait for it too. They talk more about peeing pants too in this. They talk more about fucking peeing pants. Fucking Borat, just die already. Your forehead annoys me. Seriously, that forehead, and they're right there. That shot right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of target.
I'm not afraid to die.
That last little photograph of the guy that kind of looked like Nicolas Cage trying to be Borat.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage in a Sacha Baron Cohen biopic is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not
still better than Willy's Wonderland.
Are you? Guess not.
Indeed.
And
it was a big enough target. I mean, it was quite a lot of target to aim for there.
Well, all right. Maybe there was one necessity to his forehead. It made for an easy target.
It did.
That's a good point, 70s. That's a real good point because Delaney here, he's about to get attached to the same thing that little old Timmy, sounds like a fake character, little old Timmy got attached to, a chair. Except he's way hugely up high for this one. Look at those eyes. He's like, he's looking. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get him." And then he talks to him about peeing his pants. Like,
the funny thing is that you know that it's Chuck Norris. He's looking at in 360 degrees right now with those eyes.
I made your macabre so hard just across the room. What?
That's it. I'm going to have to share a clip or two of Shorzy with you just for Oakley.
Hey, no, go ahead.
When the movie's finished.
Okay. Is it too vile for the tube?
No, we're good. We're good. It's just, okay. It's just wait till the movie's over. Yeah.
Oh, we don't disturb Chuck. I see.
Exactly.
Because he's got a great crash landing.
Because I did the Bourbon and Boarding hockey show, I've got shitloads of Letterkenny and Shorzy clips talking about hockey.
Ooh.
It's a great Canadian show. You see.
Well, our boy here gives his one great last crash landing before he freaking decides to end this motherfucker. And he lets you know, no, we don't need no sequel here. This is where it starts and this is where it fucking ends. And this guy, I mean, once again, this is his last ditch effort to make him feel like he has some chance until he just does it. And Tony, no, he's fairly effective overall. If I had to imagine Chuck Norris actually being intimidated, I'd say like a 6 out of 10 effective. Overall, though, I'd say he's definitely faced stronger adversaries. He was a decent adversary. He surprised them.
Yeah, I mean, he should have realized he was doomed from the start, but you know.
Yeah, it wasn't going to last. Yep.
Chuck doesn't know he's already following.
Well played, Soul Assassin.
That was good.
That's another. We've had some great ones tonight. Yeah.
You guys are killing me.
I just wish the subtitles are more lined up, but what are you gonna do?
You're good, Mark.
Okay. We're having fun. Yeah. Thank
Glad
you.
you liked it. No, I'm glad you liked it, Chuck. I mean, we're honored by having a slideshow of you with your mullet and your beard. We're the ones who are still like, wow, we get to actually talk about this. So the pleasure is ours, literally and figuratively, Chuck. They don't know. How do you think this would have turned out if Charles Bronson did do this? I do contemplate.
Could you imagine Charles Bronson in a mullet?
Well, wait.
maybe
Let's go back to
in the
Death
day.
Wish 3. The helmet head he had from Death Wish 3
That's true.
is just the pre-mullet.
A proto mullet is what you're saying.
Yes.
It's a proto mullet. You know, if you to get an electron microscope and look at every human being's DNA on the planet, you'd see a little picture of Chuck engraved on it.
Well, you know, guys, Alien versus Predator is an autobiographical depiction of Chuck Norris's first sexual experience.
Oh God!
Wow.
That's
a stretch, maybe. I don't know.
People worry about the climate, but the climate worries about Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris change. Norris change. Global chucking or global Norris.
Yeah, there's got to be a
Norris. Yeah, global chucking is the only thing I can. Global roundhouse. Global roundhouse. Oh, global
there's
roundhouse.
got to be something. Yeah.
This fight seems pretty subdued compared to most Chuck Norris fight scenes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of grappling.
Once again, he's not a one-trick pony. He doesn't just have to do roundhouse kicks. He can.
Speaking of grappling, I saw some photos today of Lex Friedman rolling with Elon Musk doing jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw a little bit of it. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I'm like, wow.
I just saw a couple photos. Yeah.
I'm like, Elon Musk is actually doing some stuff here, because let's be real here. Even though Zuck is a cock, he would probably right now absolutely destroy Elon Musk and
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And trust me, I hate it. Pains me to admit that, but that's just the objective.
I don't know about that. Elon is a little bit smarter. I think he would, put on an Iron Man.
You know how
won a jiu-jitsu competition.
Yeah, you know how Elon could win that one if he has a one of those EMP devices on him and he presses it just before the fight. Zook would just spark out there. And,
I know he does look a little. He looks a little too Data for the. He looks more like Data than Data did.
Yeah,
he was based on Data. Yeah. But is that Elon? But is Zuck winning that? Is that like Putin winning scoring 20 goals when he played hockey and win? Or was it a real competition?
Well, I was listening to some of the Zuckerberg thing on Lex Friedman, the second one, and he was talking about how he won. He went in under his his middle name, so it wasn't like he went under Mark Zuckerberg. He wanted different, like a pseudonym.
But
what is his middle name? Data.
Zuckerberg is a striker. He's not a grappler, is he? He's not a ground and pound. He's not into that. That's not his body type.
Was he a jiu-jitsu?
Elon's got him at the scale, and if Elon could get him into a grip and catch can wrestling style, he might actually be able to bend Zuckerberg into a pretzel.
Either way, Zuckerberg is never going to be cool.
He's going to rub a lot of makeup off on the mat, man, and that's going to be weird.
Guys,
see that green scaly skin he's got?
Yes. Yeah, the mask might come off.
The movie Anaconda was filmed in Chuck Norris's pants.
Oh God!
Oh my God! Oh God!
It was like Chuck being born. What killed the dinosaurs?
That's right.
Hey, kitty bear.
Oh damn!
I like it. Why are there no streets named after Chuck Norris? Because nobody crosses Chuck.
That's right.
Nope.
Right.
Oh, dude, I love it where he shoots a shot at this guy. He's like, "We want him alive." He's like, "Isn't life a bitch?" He says it so pleasantly too. I was just like, he has the most pleasant voice in this movie. and he left Kate the money with Timmy. And that's pretty much it. Look at it, dude.
Dude, like,
that looked like a microwave.
Just goo all over.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Go back to that
That's a microwave
explosion.
explosion.
Yeah.
That explosion was glorious.
It was. It was a good last kill.
You know what would have been perfect if Chuck had said at the end, "You have the right to remain dead." That would have been just the perfect.
Play that one.
Well, that was the payoff. That was the payoff for him being a wise ass to the kid.
Yeah.
And he.
You have the right to be dead.
Right to be dead.
But I actually think that's when the character realizes he's not just tied up, suspended from a window, and about to be arrested. There's a bomb on him somewhere.
He's gonna go boom. He's going to go boom.
There's not much left. Yeah.
Clench your cheeks.
It's just that left. Yeah.
This is pretty effective. Yeah.
Those are some really weird last words he says to him before he freaking explodes him. He's like, "Now, if you feel the need to piss your pants down, just squeeze them cheeks real tight."
I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to achieve, but
I don't know what that's supposed to achieve. I guess
affect your bladder. But,
squeeze real tight. I just thought, wow, maybe there's a. Yeah, oh yes, it was Showdown in Little Tokyo, Oakley. We did a talk to
we did it
several months back, and it was probably the wildest.
It's strangely enough remained with us ever since.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna find a clip for Oakley here because he's mentioned Letter.
So that's the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man clip is actually in reference to Chuck Norris.
Yeah, no, it is. Tia Carrere, though, she would not survive Chuck Norris coming, though. She straight would not survive that shit.
Okay, let's try this one. I'm going to share a clip for Oakley. Hopefully you can hear it okay.
Do it.
Mark needs to do it, or somebody needs to
do it. Here, I'll grab it. Yep, you got it. Here we go. Yeah, got it. Yep.
Fuck you, Corey. Your mom's twat's so swampy, not even Ducks Unlimited will touch her.
Why does this sound like Jordan Peterson?
He does a bit. Well, they're Canadian, so it's okay.
No way. Oakley Vandal saw Showdown in the theater.
Oh wow, good for him.
Wow.
Not even I did that.
I'm kind of envious. I'm kind of damn envious. All right, folks, share your ratings of this.
Here's another Letter Kenny for Oakley. Just one more.
Yeah, that's fine. Share your experience of the Hitman with us. What were your thoughts? Let's see those scores. I am curious. Oh, yeah, let's get it.
Hey, boys. Did you get her done?
Just kidding. We don't give a fuck.
That's Letter Kenny. The show Letter Kenny. Those are the two hockey players.
That's like the first episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
they're mocking the whole "get her done" thing, which is did you get her done? But yeah.
Well, there's the bird that was in our living room, so the bird is safe, everyone.
The whole house is trashed, but the bird is safe.
Yeah, the bird is safe.
Yeah, the room looks like a bomb went off in it, but
that was a little itty bitty bird. But it's funny how I'm scared. Like my wife was like, "Oh my god, there's a bird!" I'm like, "Bird's not going to hurt you. It's okay. It's not a hawk or an eagle." But yeah, so thankfully, bird is all good. Yep.
It was carrying the plague, but never mind.
Yeah, the plague.
A million years ago with a dinosaur, but whatever.
The Birds. There's a scary movie. The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock. Yes, it is.
Well, actually, that one was in color, I believe.
I saw it in black and white. I think.
Oh well, back in the day, maybe the TV was, but I think the movie was. I'm pretty sure The Birds was filmed in color. Red shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember
black and white.
I don't remember. I really don't because it's been so long since I watched it. The world was black and white back then.
Yeah.
Dolly had braces and James Bond too, so I don't know.
Bush said he couldn't hear that video. Could you all hear that last video?
I heard it.
I heard it. Yeah.
We could just do it.
Yeah.
Go and do it again.
No, it's okay. No,
it says both color and black and white were shot in the same camera.
Oh, there you go.
Now, I do want to tell you guys that there's this is today the 20th anniversary of the world's worst wide release movie, Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Oh, I never watched that.
I mean, it's so deep and meaningful. It's
You're
life.
deep
It's
and
It's
meaningful.
actually
itself.
interesting to watch, I have to
Yeah.
say. It's just so
It's different.
it's crazy. But
I have to give him credit for trying. I mean,
yeah.
he puts a lot into it, I have to say. It's just the
Whoa.
weirdest dialogue.
What does he put in it?
It's something.
It's like the
Great.
special recipe, but the herbs and spices get confused. Because like there's some really interesting scenes in there, but like he decided to, instead of film out in the alley out back, he actually constructs the exact same scene inside the studio. They could have just taken the cameras
Going outside. Yeah.
and the entire movie, it's just the movie is weird. And then afterwards, you know, because he's a writer and director and a main star, he wanted to try to say, this is my life, and he's rewriting history. And for the longest time, he didn't tell people he was born in 1956. He looks ancient as hell, and he's trying to get away with, I'm only 35. And like, no, dude, you're a wee bit older than that. And he's gotten older since then.
Well, dudes, let's read some scores from our chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this was a fucking movie, to say the least. Keely Chow, toxicity, overall, 10, 10, 10, 10. Josh Pose, overall, 9 out of 10. Toxic, 10, 10. Deleted scenes, greatness, 3 out of 4. Michael Parks, toxicity, 5. And Poke Race 6666, 10, 10 toxic, overall, 10. 10. All right, we got another here. And we
Got a super sticker.
Fat Elvis with a greatness 10, toxicity 10. Man, you guys are really, really generous on
Wait
this
till they get a
one
load of
here.
our scores.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't give a bad score to this movie. Chuck Norris will kick
Six
your ass.
Nations,
I'm
three
waiting.
Kings. I give it 10 Roundhouse Kicks. Oakley Vandal for 10-10. And then, holy shit. Guys.
I know.
Guys. Eric K. Dude, Eric, I owe you, man, when I hang out with you in Vegas one of these days. No, Eric K. You, sir, are amazing. Eric K. for $20. Gets a
He's
are
a good
amazing
lad.
super sticker.
He's a
Eric,
good lad.
I love you, man. Eric,
Huge.
that is huge. Guys, we have 49 here in the chat. Let's give a huge to Eric K. I want to see the biggest.
Huge. It's gigantic. Gigantic.
I want to see those huges for Eric K. That is Eric. Thank you. That's
What a man. He's a great
that's-
guy.
Thank you, Eric K.
Yeah, oh, they're
Thank you,
they
Eric.
are
Yep.
flying in. They are all whipping it out. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, geez, they are really. They
So
are
big
really
you think it was
coming.
Eggplant Friday.
This is a facial for the ages.
Look at that girth.
Oh man, guys,
Like a Foster's can.
we almost had the chat. Almost the entire chat was here almost the entire time. Guys, thank you. Holy
Awesome.
crap!
Thank you.
Because we had between 45 and 55 the entire show. Holy shit! For the
Pretty fucking good, mate.
Hitman.
Yeah, good
For
stuff.
the
Thank you,
frickin'
everybody, for being here.
Thank you. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, wow. All right. Well, Mark, I'll let you start off.
Well, I mean, This movie's, I'm gonna say it's not a great movie. It's a Chuck movie, right? So you know what you get in for when you start watching it, right? You're looking for some ass action and some good dialogue. And I didn't expect to see Chuck with the big mullet, although I was warned of it. I don't think I ever saw this movie until watching it this week. But of course, who the heck knows? Because we used to rent, Chuck Norris all the time. So yeah, I give it like an 8 out of 10. It's a B, maybe like a B minus, just because it's Chuck and it's good, but it's there's no great plot twist or no big surprises. It's just you're just enjoying or plot. You're just enjoying watching Chuck kick ass, yeah, or plot, right? Well, it's minor plot, yeah.
That's
but
debatable.
Yeah, it's debatable. Yeah. I hope Chuck Norris isn't watching this, though. But yeah, it's it's one of those.
Chuck is
popcorn.
always watching, Mark. Chuck's watching everything.
He's always watching. Yeah,
That's one of those popcorn movies. Nightmares about him.
He sees you when you're sleeping.
And yeah, it's like it's a 6-pack movie, right? You drink some beers and you enjoy this movie. So yeah, and toxicity. I give Chuck's mullet a 10 because that mullet kicks some serious ass in this movie. And the mobster, that scene in the beginning, I mean, we're laughing about this movie, but when they disembowel his buddy or the other mobster, there's some pretty bad brutal, raunchy stuff. Yeah, and the guy's legs get blown off, and he's the Iranian mobster, and there's some nasty stuff that goes down. And then of course his turncoat partner in the end is basically spontaneously combust like he was a drummer from Spinal Tap at the end of the movie. So yeah, there was some toxic shit in there. So I give it like an 8 toxicity. But yeah, it's fun to watch. But I think there's some better Chuck Norris movies out there. But it's gonna be fun to see if Invasion USA is any good, because I've never finished that one. So
great movie.
Yeah.
That is the only one of our Chuck Norris month that I've not seen ever.
All right. Well, I'd recommend you do not down a fifth of vodka before you try to watch the movie.
Many people would consider it his best movie.
I am absolutely going full normie for that.
Full normie, okay.
Full normie.
What's the other Chuck Norris movie? I was Code of. What's the other movie that's really well regarded?
Code of Silence.
Code of Silence, right? That's the other one.
Oh yeah, Code of Silence. Well,
that got good ratings actually, which was we were talking about.
We had to do Missing in Action 2. Eventually,
that's a great movie.
The beginning.
Yeah.
Also, I've heard, and this is just this. This is basically inside baseball. That's not inside baseball. I hear that Joe Zito is accessible to get a hold of.
Oh, the director, cool. That would be nice.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
That would be awesome. Just
Not
saying.
bad.
Yeah.
Have you reached out to Chuck? Maybe he'll come onto one of these shows.
Yeah, that would be fucking amazing.
What about Huel?
That's drinking his water.
The stream would explode, and they would end. And then there goes like, oh yeah, C-Force. Here, show that off again from the chat. C-Force.
That water is great.
No,
I found it at Fresh Time.
It's got a real kick in the head to it. Yeah.
Does it turn into wine on its own later? Does Chuck turn it into wine for you?
He personally pissed in every bottle. He pissed in every bottle personally and turned it.
No. Chuck did consider selling his urine as a soft drink. It's now called Red Bull.
Well, it does taste like piss. That is true.
Guys, I got one last joke for you before we carry on with more scores. Chuck Norris only allows Jackie Chan to live because he likes Chris Tucker movies.
Well,
you gotta think about it, but if you actually, yeah. But dude, he's watching. Jackie Chan's like, yeah, he likes Chris Tucker movies, so that's why Jackie lives. But anyways,
Did Chuck Norris come to
Bruce.
like an elementary school and read that book to kids? Learn how to read that?
I hope so. I mean, a lot of kids who are there's a lot of hospitals that can use some really inspirational books, and this could go to many great hospitals. This book.
I can imagine Mr. Rogers reading that book. Fred Rogers reads Chuck Norris.
I love you.
I wish that an impersonator out there could do that.
I'm gonna probably drag some scores down a little bit here, and
Do your worst.
I give this movie a 55 for being a Chuck Norris
Out of
movie.
100?
Out of 100. Okay. I was expecting a lot more action out of it. I wasn't really into the discern, the fact that Chuck is trying to be considered as a serious actor, and he's not going to do so many action scenes in the film. And this is directed by Aaron, his brother. Aaron knows him best, and Aaron displayed at the start of the movie, with the trampoline station wagon, that he can film really good stunt work. He can do amazing stunt work, and he made his entire career out of that. And we get that one scene where somebody hits the station wagon from above, and that's it. And I was really upset with that. And then we get, this plotting crap, and oh wait, they're in a Persian bar. And Chuck Norris is fucking with the guys, touching all the food, saying this tastes like shit. And I'm like, yes, here's the movie. And I get 3 minutes of joy. From that point, from that scene, all the way till the very end, I was just bored stiffless. I was completely flaccid. And then finally, there's a fight. And Michael Parks, not really a good combatant, I might add. He's not really built for this sort of thing. He's more of a dramatic actor. He gets into a fight with Chuck Norris, which should have been like Burt Ward getting his ass beat by Bruce Lee on the Batman set. That's what we were expecting, and we were denied. And I watched that, and then finally at the very end, this guy's spinning around like an airborne pinata, and I'm like, oh, this could be kind of cool. And then he explodes, and I'm like, that was cool. And so I rewound that about.
Did you catch the candy?
Yeah, and I watched that about 7 or 8 times, and I'm like, this is so good that they filmed that, they edited it just right, and
that raised your rating at the end, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I almost cried. And there was a rainbow, and God gave it to us, not the gay people. My bad. It's Dinosaur Month. And it was just a letdown for Chuck Norris movies. As much as I love Chuck, and I really do appreciate everything he's done in his filmography as a person, the guy is a solid man. This is his worst movie, in my opinion. And it's still watchable. Because there's some parts that
he
pay
said
off.
it's the worst, but it's still watchable. That's a very interesting twist there.
No. This is a very watchable movie the first time. I'm not going to see it a second. But I really did enjoy. There was a couple parts of it that I thought were great. The opening scene was good whenever he takes a dive onto the station wagon. Then the bar where he's telling the Iranians, your food sucks. And they had a good soundtrack there. And then the very end, when Michael Parks explodes all over the wall. That was great. I could watch that shit all day. So I'm just saying, like, the rest of the movie, I got like 90 minutes of movie I could have left on the cutting room floor. Canon got ripped off on this. I'm sorry, but it's a watchable film. There's many worse movies out there. And if you haven't seen it yet, talk to me. I'll get you the link.
You heard the man. Thank you, Bruce. All right. TZ Berg, Toxic 9, overall 10 Chucks. RJ Godzilla 81. The stunts ain't great, and for Chuck Norris's stunts, they have much to be desired. The dialogue is pretty bad. The plot is non-existent. Even the toxicity is at a minimum, but the violence is fine.
Yeah, I didn't even have a toxicity score on here. There's really none. You do have the one scene where the white trash guy gets his face beaten in properly. And if we were on any other platform than this homogenized crap of a platform that YouTube is, if we were on somewhere else like Rumble, I would say the words because I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But it's just like that. That's the only toxic part of this show. You have 3 seconds of toxicity.
All right. Well then, Dustin.
Oh, all right. Where to begin? Bruce is right. This is a one-time, like a once and done movie.
I've watched it several times.
Nick's watched it 20 times.
Of course you have. No disrespect to Chuck Norris, but I mean, this movie didn't. I mean, I'm trying to watch the movie, trying to figure out what's going on as I'm watching it. I mean, we complain that there's so much like backstory and stuff now in movies nowadays, and it's like they've got to hold your hand. But this movie didn't even give you like context clues. Like they're like, yeah, you're on your own.
All that was in the cutting room floor.
I was like Tim or whatever his name is. I was a latchkey kid with no key to get in my apartment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there was a little more toxicity, I think, than Bruce let on. I think there is some with like they kept calling them like Arabs and stuff like that, and some more slurs there in those talking incorrectly about the people. But so toxicity, I have to give it like maybe a 6, like a soft 6, like a hard 5, soft 6.
Okay.
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 And I think overall, I probably have to give it maybe a 6 as well.
Okay.
Like I said, I went into this movie. I mean, Chuck Norris has the mullet. He's got the outfit. He's got everything. But it just didn't deliver as a movie. Outside of the amazing mullet.
Outside of the amazing
You
mullet.
guys are all in trouble with Chuck. I give it a B, Chuck, if you're listening, or B-.
It would be an honor to get my ass kicked by Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
He's 83.
Yeah, but it would hurt. But it would hurt.
I would be like, oh.
Before 70s sounds off, when Chuck Norris wants a salad, he eats a vegetarian.
That is pretty good.
Go ahead, 70s.
Well, before I go ahead, I've got one more clip I'd like you to play for Oakley, our good friend in the chat who's been Canadianing me all night. So
Working hard, Corey, you can be just like me.
Oh yeah, I remember laying in bed as a kid dreaming about reffing high school hockey on a Friday night.
I remember laying in bed dreaming about the time your mom tongued my butthole so good I put her in my phone as roll up the rim to win.
What did he say?
So I lie in bed dreaming. I lie in bed at night dreaming about the time your mother tongued my butthole so hard that I put her in my mobile phone as roll up the rim to win, because she roll up the rim on the Tim Hortons
that was
cups.
man, when he put her in, I couldn't hear what he said. That's awesome.
Because it's very Canadian, but that was for Oakley. So as for the movie, and trust me, Oakley, Letterkenny, I'm going to do a full show on it one of these days.
All right, 70s. It's your turn, and then I know Richard's going to shred this harder than anyone else.
So let's talk about the good things. First of all, it has been mentioned the mullet is inconceivable. It's the mullet and the trench coat and the shotgun. Chuck looks pretty good, as he usually does. It's very tightly directed, probably for cost purposes, perhaps too tightly, as Bruce mentioned. So there are, there's no fat on it. We'll give it that. Apart from perhaps some of the wishy-washy scenes with the boy.
I'd argue it was bone to begin with. There was never any
it's
meat.
to the bone. But I do like what Aaron Norris has done he's done the best he can with some great locations and some of the very noir elements in the cinematography. He's made the best of what he had in terms of the look of the film. So there's some good stuff there. There is some good moments, such as in the restaurant and one or two other parts of the fighting, the fight scenes and the action. It's pretty all much gunplay, though. It would be nice to have a little bit more fisticuffs, as it were, or footy cuffs, perhaps you could say, roundhouse kicks and all that. So those are some of the good things. It is almost non-existent in terms of a coherent, interesting plot, and the dialogue is. I mean, there's a couple of good lines in there, but it's trying really hard to be witty and funny and give the action one-liners, but it just doesn't hit a lot of the time. There's a couple of good ones, but not as many as you would hope for. So it's a bit poor in that respect. Not enough action. not toxic particularly. I'd say 4 out of 10. I mean, there's a couple of nice gruesome pieces in it, and then there's the use of the N word, but that was actually untoxic in a sense because he got his face punched in afterwards. So I think toxic's about 4. I think in Chuck's canon it is not anywhere near the canon, anywhere near the best. I'd probably stretch to giving it a 6 out of 10. It gets an extra point partly because it's Chuck and partly because there's a nice model of an F-15 Eagle in it, which I was, and some of the models were really nice in it. So, 6 out of 10. It's best I can do. Sorry, Chuck. I did it. I mean, I enjoyed it, but that's only the second time I've ever seen it. And there's been like a 30-year gap between viewings. So it says a lot, really. Whereas I've watched Missing in Action and Delta Force and Invasion USA tens of times, probably.
So would you say 70s, if Chuck Norris was not in this movie and it was anybody else, would we even be talking about it?
We probably wouldn't know. It would be just another C action movie from the 90s if it had another star. I don't know, Robert Ginty or somebody.
Well, it did outgross Mannequin 2 on the Move, thankfully.
A film I've never even seen, so I'm
not heard of Mannequin.
And I'm not knocking it.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know there was a 2. I enjoyed
there was a 2, yeah.
this well enough, but it doesn't really, other than the mullet, it doesn't stick in my head. Let's put it that way. I'm done. I'm spent. Move on.
This movie was
Stop
missing.
looking at me.
I think if this movie would have had Bronson in it, I think we would talk about it as one of his lowest in his movies. Because if it was the same script, I would have to say it would be about the same for me. But there are other worse action stars that were trying to be big in the 90s. Antonio Sabato Jr. comes to mind. And he was in a really... You guys remember him?
Yes, and you've got your Robert Gintys and guys like that. There was a lot of guys. I think Cannon's financial woes are showing by this time, even though Aaron Norris and the cinematographer did their best to make the most of it. There was a few they could have done with more action, and I think that might be a budgetary thing. More action, more effects. They had to save it for certain bits, and the budget was pretty tight. Although it did make its money back, I believe. Which
it did.
How close was this to the Superman 4 release?
I think it's a few years after.
So after Superman 4, probably
a
is
few years
after.
Yeah, a few years after for sure.
I think it's after, but I'm. Let's look it up.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Well, no, I remember they were using like 3 or 4 movies to finance Superman 4.
We got a red shirt.
Well, I mean, that was Cannon's forte, wasn't it? Let's sell the shit out of things in advance and then take that money and put it into current productions, not the production we just sold, and just living hand to mouth all the time. So,
well, this movie had hand to mouth.
It did have hand to mouth. Did it have ass to mouth? No, sorry. 1987 was Superman 4, so they were well on the downslide by 91 in terms of just struggling to keep the light. Literally, the lights were going out on productions. Like into the electric company was cutting the lighting out in the studio. It was that bad. They were switching the lights off. So.
I mean, they did have problems getting the daily prints
this
movie in particular while they were trying to get dailies done.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that cycle where you go to somebody, hey, producer, give me a bag of money. I need to go get prints. Why do you need to go get prints? Well, I need the money to pay the prints because we don't have any money to pay the prints. And once I bring the prints back, I can show you what your money went to. But tomorrow I'll have to repeat the same process.
Yeah,
and do that for 90 days.
And if you think about the crew getting paid and whatever, it's pretty precarious, you know. A lot of people were working for virtually nothing and weren't even getting paid that. So it's a shame, you know. It's a shame. They did disrupt the big boys for a while. and did some great stuff. But I mean, this is not a bad movie given the constraints. It's not a bad movie. 6 out of 10, I think. It's still average,
I rated it
not
higher
under
than 50.
average. Yeah.
All right.
So it's it has its charms. There's just very few of them.
Okay.
The Loki charms. Has its Loki charms.
All right. Red shirt.
Yep.
I'm ready for you to do your worst.
Well, to riff on 70's last comment, this movie has way too many oats and not enough marshmallows. This movie does have toxicity in it. It has gore. There's 2 really ugly, messy, bloody kills. The guy who gets shot first in the living room with the shotgun, and of course, the Iranian who gets his legs blown to ribbons.
That was a good moment, yes.
But that was it. That was the 2. Everything else was fairly innocuous. There was a blood bag. There's blood on the guy's chest. Okay, he's down. There was sexual harassment. She tries his girlfriend tries to hit him, and he stops her, and then that's where the sex scene is supposed to start. Except we don't actually see any of it. There's animal cruelty. They killed a horse. There's racism. We talked about that. And yeah, the guy who's the biggest racist gets his comeuppance. But it's very casual racism. It's just, they don't even think about it. It's like breathing. And of course, the force feeding pork to a Muslim. I mean, that's by today's standards. Oh, that's just talking about that would be verboten.
You'd get a fatwa against you for that shit.
Yeah, exactly. You'd get a hate crime charge. So the thing is that there is the toxicity, but it's one here, one there, one here, one there. It's not a toxic movie. It's a movie with toxic moments in it, and the same thing goes for the rest of the movie. I mean, it's as has been said, the script is incoherent. Either the script was incoherent or too much of this movie wound up on the editing room floor. Because there's just holes in this thing. It's trying too hard on the one-liners. It has some, but some of them sound forced. It's the Goodwill version of Black Rain, is what this movie is.
Goodwill version. Yeah.
That was actually funny, even though I don't agree. That was actually really funny. That was really good. I gotta give you that.
I mean, you got the corrupt cop, you got the dirty cop, you got the clean cop, you got the mobsters. You have all the same elements. They just put them together in a different order and made a better movie. Now, what does it have going for it? It has Michael Parks for one. I wish he'd been in more of the movie. He's in the beginning and the end. That's it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Of course, it has Chuck Norris sporting a look, and it's a great look. And I know they tried to give Chuck the opportunity to act more and fight less. There's only one problem: Chuck Norris, being a martial arts expert and a longtime martial arts expert, is very, very centered. I mean, he can't help but be. He has to be that all the time. Actors have to extend themselves. They have to stretch themselves. They have to get off balance in order to convince the audience that there's an emotion here, there's a vulnerability here, there's something here. Watching Chuck Norris is like watching a cigar store Indian half the time. There's no reaction. And he's yeah. Oh, much like somebody else I know.
Sorry. Gonna resist.
But it's he should have stuck with what he does. Okay, here's the thing: Chuck Norris should stick with what he does well, which is he can deliver a wry line. He's a handsome guy. He's a great stunt. He can do much of his own stunts. He does his own fight scenes, and he's utterly believable. I agree with whoever said it that Michael Parks doesn't look convincing in a hand-to-hand fight in a movie. He just doesn't. And, yes, he should never have touched Chuck Norris.
You can keep talking.
He should never have been able to lay a hand. at the end. Chuck Norris should just been able to take him apart bit by bit, piece by piece, play with him, toy with him like a cat with a mouse. And when Michael Parks wakes up, he's strapped to a chair, suspended from the third floor of the building, and Chuck's last line lets him know, oh, by the way, you got a bomb between your legs.
What was great is that he didn't even tell him that. He just led the police chief away.
Yes.
Come with me. We're done here.
He just repeated the guy's line when the kid was strapped to a chair and there was a bomb in the room. And, of course, the first bomb went off, and, of course, the kid survived. The second bomb goes off, and, yeah, he doesn't survive. Michael Parks and Chuck Norris are the two reasons to watch this movie. And for everybody who said, hey, it's not a good movie, but it's watchable, it's entertaining, I agree. It is entertaining. It's almost entertaining enough to distract you from all of the things that it doesn't have. And I watched it for the first time, and I thought at the end, wait a minute, I'm going to have to sit here and think about this for a little while because and then I started thinking about it. And as soon as you start to think about this movie, even a little bit, it starts to come apart at the seams. So if you just go into it as this is a Chuck Norris movie, it is a slower paced movie. It is not like the last one we talked about. With the POWs, missing in action. That movie is far faster in terms of its pacing and its action, and it's got much bigger fight scenes and much bigger set pieces. So, Chuck worked very well in that format. In this format, not so much. And, teaching the kid to defend himself, Chuck Norris will never be a Pat Morita. He could never play, Miyagi-san. So the movie to me was, in the end was disappointing, but it was also entertaining to watch. So Toxicity, it gets a 6. It's just like it's trying, but it's not hitting the mark. And 6.5 on greatness. I mean, it's a watchable movie. It's above average. It doesn't belong in the basement. The MedVed should not be considering it for a Golden Turkey Award, but it ain't much of a much, and it wasn't even for Chuck Norris. And the idea, and finding out that Canon was in severe financial difficulties at this point when this movie was produced, suddenly a lot of what I was seeing and what I was questioning makes more sense. A movie being made on a shoestring with a production company that simply can't afford to fix something or fill in a scene in post-production or give some exposition, narration, something even that simple couldn't be done. So you're left guessing for the first quarter of the movie who's who and what's really going on. And then it culminates in that final fight scene where, and I thought when I looked at that, I was like, okay, wait a minute, what do we have? We have an Italian mob from Seattle. We have a French Canadian mob from Vancouver. We have an Iranian mob, which is being led by Chuck Norris's old partner, the crooked cop. And then, of course, on the fourth side, we have Chuck Norris. I said, these guys don't stand a chance. This is Chuck Norris. So the ending of this movie is a foregone conclusion. It doesn't matter how many of the Italians get killed or the French Canadians get killed. It doesn't even matter what happens to his old partner. In the end, it comes down to him and his partner, and it's a done deal. And so I thought that the ending was just kind of predictable, because what are you going to do? Kill Chuck Norris at the end of his own movie? That's not going to happen. So it's a fun movie. It has its moments, but as a roller coaster ride, it's only got a couple of hills, and that's about it.
Only got a couple of hills. Well said, dude. All right. Well, I actually thought you were going to shred on it even worse. Not gonna lie. Maybe I must have accelerated my expectations really high. No, I don't. I'm not gonna add anything too extra. You guys have said it all way too well. But for me, I loved how the movie looked. I thought the music was good, despite the one scene with him and Timmy. Just the music made that scene out of place. Not the scene itself, but the music just way too. As you guys said, it's like Lifetime music. That was well said. I actually enjoyed the kills, and I actually thought a lot of the dialogue succeeded. And I will actually go up to bat in toxicity for this movie. The fact that he freaking touched their food, like spat it out, tell them it tasted like shit to their face. You also got to see a guy, I think he was like a Muslim guy, Arab guy, and he got pork shoved in his mouth for like 2 minutes early on in the movie, like endlessly. That would all these scenes are scenes that are not like obviously the horse getting shot to shit. Or when Chuck Norris told that girl that to not bring her ass over there. Dude, come on. That was the ultimate burn, man. This movie gets some toxicity in my opinion. I'm gonna go to a very good 7 out of 10 for toxicity in this one. 7. Because he freaking brought the heat. Also, dude, Bora had several opportunities to live, but that motherfucker just had it coming. Also, this movie makes more sense now than it did then for it to be in Seattle. Seattle and Portland, Oregon need a Chuck Norris. This is him. He's barely a hitman, and story-wise, yeah, it's a mess. But I enjoy watching this mess. You can have the Batman. I'll take my Batman Forevers any day. I'll take the movies that are ridiculous and over the top. And you know why? Because I have fun watching this shit. And I'll at least admit it's incoherent. I'll admit that. I'll own it. I'll own the shit out of it. But damn, do I have a good time watching these. And I've watched this probably around, I don't know, in my lifetime, 10, 15 times. So I've given some hours to this movie in my life. I have, I'll admit it. And I will continue so. This will not be the last time the Hitman and I are together. We will see more of each other, even though you aren't Agent 47. And that is the Hitman for Toxic Tuesday. So yes, I am aware, it has definitely been made aware on me. Next Toxic Tuesday, obviously, is Invasion USA. It does fall on the 4th of July.
Doesn't bother me. I'm Canadian.
I won't be in town.
Yeah, I gotta figure out.
You want to skip it? Maybe we should skip it.
As cool as it would be to say that it's on the 4th of July, I think a lot of people would not be around for that because, well, the holiday, which I don't blame people for. I think most people would prefer.
And you
that.
thought Chuck Norris was mad at us this week. And by the way, Chuck, I gave it the best rating. Just kill me last. But,
Invasion USA in July the 4th. Invasion USA.
I know. It's perfectly on the nose.
It won't be that far from you. I'll be like an hour and something from you. I'll be up on Lake Michigan.
So,
but Chuck will be like, no one saw the show.
That's what. Thank you, RJ. Thank you. I enjoy this.
I didn't hate the Hitman. It's not one of the best. I didn't hate it.
Chuck's gonna kill you first.
The title's bad too. Yeah.
All right, but anyways, most likely we'll have to skip week, unfortunately, but because I didn't put it together until I was looking at the calendar. I'm like, oh shit. So, Invasion USA, and then Way of the Dragon, and that'll be our Chuck Norris month. And after that, we'll probably take our first small break in like a year, as we did last summer. We took off like 3 weeks, and we'll be going straight into episodes 96 through 100 and beyond. So,
that's good. I can catch up on my tanning then.
Yeah, you can catch up on your tanning. Yes. I'm imagining Marty. No. Hey, I love you guys. I thank you guys for hanging out with us and seriously, I thank my panel here and Eric K and Darius Munchausen and Emperor RNM, was that his name? Oh, Emperor ZNM. Thank you guys for super chats. Sherry, thank you for the meme earlier, guys. We saw a few new faces too. Hopefully you liked what you saw, and I hope you come back for more. And to the ones who always do, you guys are fucking insane. Thank you guys very, very much. And we'll most likely see you in 2 weeks for Invasion USA. And yes, for those who are looking to seek it out, Roku, Tubi, and the internet. We'll just call it the internet. Unless you own a physical copy. Have fun finding it, but I'll tell you what, some good things are worth hunting for. And for me, that'll be my first time watching. So I won't be a normie for this, so it's gonna be fun. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna let these gentlemen plug their channels, and we're gonna say goodnight. Once again, thank you for supporting Toxic Tuesday. I'll plug first. I did a video yesterday talk about what's going on with comic shops and realizing the gimmickiness of the business per se. So check that video out Friday night on the comic shop. Midnight's Edge's own Wrench, D. Bud Martin, will be with us as we're going to talk ASM, Amazing Spider-Man, the Stanley Steve Ditko run, issues 25 through 28. And of course, you can find me on Midnight's Edge After Dark and on Comics Division, Thursday Night Throwdown, and this Saturday night, rare Saturday appearance for me. I will be on the Cotton Connection with Snowdub and all the other puppets. This is a long time in the works, so I can't wait to be on the
Who's going to
Cotton
put their
Connection.
hand up your ass, though, Nick? This is the question.
It's only inevitable that all of them do. Only inevitable. So that's coming up on my side, and I'm going to let Mark start with his plug first.
I shall plug away. So yeah, so it was a lot of fun tonight. And where's my SR71? Oh, here. So check out my channel for toys and models. And I do have a SR71, but yeah, Chuck did not make that. But yeah, that's one of the best planes ever, right? That's just so cool. And yeah, I do a lot of toys, and here's a new Bugs Bunny I just got, which is really cool.
That is
so
awesome.
So I did a video on this today. You know, it's a short, but I only got like 8 views. So I'll put the link in so maybe a couple people could watch it. Bugs deserves more than 8 views, but yeah, that's
I agree.
Movie Maniacs, McFarlane, that's out right now. They have another figure from the Goonies is out. So, but this, I saw this. I'm like, I got a gift card at Amazon for my birthday. I'm like, that's going towards this. So let me get it with the, there we go, without the lights there. But yeah, so check out my channel for toy reviews. Sunday Night Geekery, Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern is my review show for the week. Hangout, chat. We end up always talking food and pizza, which people complain about a little bit, but it's always a lot of fun. So check that out. On Thursday night, I'll be on the Clubhouse with Raquel and Clobbering Times. And you can usually check me out during the week. I usually Clobbering Times invites me in, and we hang out and just talk comics and what else? Oh, here, check out what I got for comic. What these facsimiles are great. So I just got this the other day. So I'm loving these facsimiles. Yeah. So
121 to 122, the classic Death of Gwen Stacy story.
Yep. Oh, spoilers, Nick.
Oh, you know that.
I know that. Yeah. It's 50 years later, whatever. Yep. But yeah, so I just appreciate everyone subbing and checking out the channel. So yep, and another fun weekend with Toxic Tuesday. So yeah, but it will be good to get a few weeks off there. So
it will be.
Enjoy the summer. Yep, yeah, and leave people wanting more, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what we leave people wanting more, and we want everyone to enjoy the summer too. Mark, thank you for your amazing service as always, sir. It will always go noticed because you pretty much are the hero of the show, straight up. You're the MVP,
thank you.
It's not even up for debate, sir. You, my friend, have a magical night, and I gotta come back on the Geekery soon. I owe it to you.
Yeah.
I owe you a visit or 3.
Yep. And if any of you guys here in the panel would like to come on, I don't want to like impose on people too, but anyone here has an open invite who wants to.
Oh, I always
Sunday
like coming on there. I always like coming on that show, man.
Hey, thanks, Tox.
All right.
Toxie.
Toxic,
man. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it, sir.
Toxic, yep.
Bruce, thank you for being here, sir. Glad to have you on board.
And it's always a pleasure to be here. You have one of the greatest chats in the YouTube sphere. I really am getting into this, just analyzing on these movies and look at it from not just the critic perspective, but let's also look at it from like, is this fun to watch? Is there parts of it that make you happy to be a man? Is it
homoerotic?
Yeah. So is there any homoerotic moments? You have the biggest dick I've ever seen. And I think I love that clip, man. It's a great clip. And
you have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
This panel here is great.
I
Appreciate
mean,
everybody
you
here.
could have said biggest dick he'd ever seen in a woman, I guess. But I mean, the part on a man part seems superfluous at that point in history.
It's 2023 now. We do need to man the movie. I agree. But I have a channel. It's Bruce Lombardo at YouTube. You can find me. I do a lot of videos where I'm painting on stuff like these.
Ooh, yeah. Yay. Love it. Dude, those are so freaking awesome. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna act like I know anything about those, but I know you do the whole painting that stuff up, dude. That looks freaking awesome, man.
I've got a desk of shame that I need to get the rest of these.
Stop.
I've got to get the rest of that
busy.
taken care of. Yeah. So I'm working on it, and on every other Saturday, if you have a problem with sleep, come on by the channel. And every other Saturday we have a game stream. So there's about 7 to 10 hours that you can doze off, and there'll be 10 of us or 9 of us in the panel discussing the game and the moves and all that went on. This last weekend we had a 7.5 hour stream, 6.5 hours of which was 42 seconds of what was going on in game, because it was one long combat. That's all it was for 6.5 hours. That's kind of crunchy. That's kind of could have been resolved faster. That's the game we're using. And my friends love this system, so we are going to use it until this campaign is over. I'm a miniature player. I like the games. I've been into tabletop for over 30 years. Oh, God. I'm old. Wow. Okay, so just that's my open invite. And I'll be releasing my actual beta test for my own RPG here in about a month and a half. So wish me luck.
All right. Thank you, Bruce, again for being here, sir. Love having you on here. You're fun to hang out with and good guy. You stay being you. And guys, that is Bruce's channel right there. Go sub to him. And Mark from his channel earlier. Bruce, have a great night. Have a great week. As always, we will be in touches.
Well, Nick,
you know who he is.
Once
He's
again,
the superstar of the show.
I don't know about that. It's far from it. Nick, thanks again, buddy, for doing this wonderful, wonderful show. It's my privilege to be on it with these great human beings on the panel, and what a fantastic chat. Rocking as always, brilliant chat. I have a channel, That 70s Rock Fan. We're doing pretty well for such a low budget effort. I'm the Canon Movies of YouTube. But yeah, I did a great show yesterday with a guy called Kevin Harrington, who was a Beatles roadie, and go and check that out. Some fascinating stories from him about the White Album and Let It Be, and then his career afterwards with people like the Stones and Derek and the Dominoes, and even right up to Motorhead. It was quite good fun chatting about all that stuff. And then the previous week we did Graham Bonnet was on the show from Rainbow, and tries all those great bands. Please go check those out, because these are wonderful streams where we had a lot of fun and great guests. Thursday morning I will be on Pop Culture Minefield channel for a show, Morning Coffee with Brian. It's actually the last one I'm going to do in that channel, not because I don't like being on that channel, but too many commitments running. I just don't have the energy. But I'll be doing a show there Thursday morning, and it's going to be about the Korean Afghan war movie, The Point Men. Fascinating movie. For those who don't know, the Koreans were indeed in the Afghan conflict, and shit went down. So, and it stars two of my favorite actors, Hyun Bin and Hwang Yong-min, two great powerhouse duo. And also we're hoping to have a contribution from a guy called Fahim Fazil, who's an Afghan-American actor. You'll see him in a lot of films. And he's in The Point Men, and he's a great friend of the Pop Culture Minefield channel. So we're hoping that he'll be able to. Nice. He's working in Morocco on a movie, but he's going to video us some. We sent him some questions. Otherwise, he would have been on the show live. I'll also be on. You'll see me on Midnight's Edge After Dark. There will be somebody from my Scottish nationality on the Cotton Connection and Cotton Council. Not saying it's me, but there will be a Scottish puppet on there. Cousin of mine, Jock McHugh, and maybe one of his victims might be on as well. And then on Sundays, Culture After Dark, which is the shortest long show or the longest short show on YouTube, depending on how you look at it. Lots of places you'll find me. Thank you, everybody, and see you soon, I hope.
All right. Thank you, 70s, sir. Have a great night, great week. Appreciate it, guys. Sub to the channel of that 70s rock fan. This is where he comes. Thank you, sir.
Oh, and I should
getting it done with no budget.
I should mention July the 10th, the next edition
back.
of the Canon Film Club, where we're doing Cyborg, and we'll be guests as well. Nick, I'm hoping you'll be there, of course, but Tom Connors is my co-host on that. We have Austin Trunick, who wrote the Canon Film Guides, 2 great books about Canon, and Razorfist may be there. He's there for some of them, and he's not there for some, but he's always tries to make it if he can.
He's got the link.
He's got the link, and he does turn up, and we have a great time, and he does enjoy hanging out with us. So, but we're doing Cyborg July the 10th. Thank you. And thanks for the best wishes, Lisa. I'm still not. My back is still pretty bad, but
get your back better, dude.
Get your back better. The drugs help. I don't even know I'm here. Where are we? What week is it?
Unfortunately, we did.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
well, you can find me in chats all over YouTube in the fellowship at various times of the day, weekdays, evenings. I'm on Friday Night Chat. I'm mod for Friday Night Tights. And after Friday Night Tights, I'm generally on the Jed Revenwolf channel on the Bootleg MF Roadhouse, which will be this Friday, probably starting around 8 o'clock Central Time in the evening. And, go 2 hours, maybe longer, depends. And that's usually just an insane conversation that goes off the rails about 15 minutes after the show starts. So if you're looking for insanity on YouTube, we've got it. So thanks, Nick, for inviting me as always. It's always a pleasure. And this is always fun to do, even when I'm not a huge fan of the movie.
Well, I'm pleasured that you showed up anyways. I'm thankful for what you do, and I'm glad to have your honesty. You are not an echo chamber, and we need you. And one day, we're gonna have pizza together.
Definitely.
All right. And Rob Altus, I see you. Thank you for being here, lurking mode, sir. All right. Last but not least, the Keto Simple Man himself, Merry Birthmas to you one last time, Dustin.
Keto Simple is my channel. I dropped a video on my birthday on Sunday where we tried this new keto chow birthday cake flavor. It was pretty good. Check it out. See what we think. I actually just became an affiliate with them as well. So if you're interested, there's links. You can buy stuff from us, get 10% off. I got some sales stuff to post this week for stuff that I'm affiliates with. Big holiday. There's always a sale going on. Other content coming. Still editing and posting stuff for Chandra's channel. You can see me on Brian's channel over at It's Only Talk and Roll. I love hanging out with him, and I was on the Harrington show yesterday. That was actually kind of surreal. Being, kind of talking to somebody who, knew the Beatles. You know what I mean? And I've got a couple of live streams coming up. I'm filming a podcast tomorrow evening. I think it'll air sometime in July. And then I've got another live stream that'll be sometime in July as well. So just always got stuff going on. Just be on the lookout. If you're interested, check me out and subscribe, and we'll have a good time.
All right, sir. Thank you. Merry Birthmas. Have a great night. Have a great week. All right, guys, we're going to do our intro outro. Once again, thank you for supporting Toxic Tuesday. See you in most likely 2 weeks for Invasion USA. Good night.
I'd like to show you something.
The pace when I I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel like
You're still here? It's over. Go home.